Where's thinking at?
Would you like a link?
Yes, please.
I'll put it in the Discord.
Too late. I
Oh,
win.
got it. Motherfucker.
Welcome, the no viewers watching this eventual video archive.
Oh, is the stream on?
The stream is
Is
on
it time?
Time for controversy.
for the Game of the Year 2018 awards this January 5th, 2019.
Can't wait for the upsets.
Oh yeah. We have a
Oh yeah,
star.
because it was a year that really had a lot of those.
We had a star-studded Game of the Year nomination process, and we have not a lot. We have far less categories than we had last year, so maybe this will not be 6 hours long.
Maybe.
What's
We'll
the other
see.
one? 6 hours long.
Just about.
I don't remember it being that long, but hey.
Hey, I got my knife ready right here.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was 5 hours, 12 minutes, and 47 seconds.
Okay, that's significantly less than 6 hours.
Yeah, 5 hours. Significantly
Yeah,
less
damn.
than 6
That
hours.
is almost an hour less.
Grav's not gonna let his music cat choice lose this time. Like he did with Sonic.
Alright, let's just fill it with westerns.
Oh god, since I
He's
can't
sick,
stab you guys
okay?
through the internet, I guess I'll just have to stab myself.
I was gonna say he's sick, he can't fight us off as hard this year. It'll be even easier.
Apparently, Rob is with his landlord, so
Oh, he's getting kicked out.
Rob is having real life knife fights right now.
yeah. But anyway, our first category, similar to last year's first category, this is our old Game of the Year, as I introduce it and stall as much as I can. The nominees that we have decided for the old Game of the Year include The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds, Shadowverse, whoops, that's a right click, Star Wall, Evil Zone, Environmental Station Alpha, Retro Game Challenge, The Witcher / The Witcher 2, and Tactics Ogre, Let Us Cling Together.
Is that the PSP one or the DS one?
I
always get
have
those mixed up.
no idea. I think Rob
That's the
added it to
PSP
this
one.
list, so you'll have to
I'm
ask
pretty
him
sure
when he
Rob
comes
added
back.
both of those last ones. So since he's gone, I think we can safely just go ahead and cut those.
But I like Tactics Ogre.
So do I, but I've only played just a little bit of the PSP one.
Yeah, the only one of those that I have... I've played two of these, Star Wall and Evil Zone. So,
I mean, Evil Zone clearly loses.
What? No, Evil Zone, if anything, is the winner of this category.
Evil Zone still has a vibrant tournament scene.
Yeah?
A
None of the other
vibrant
games on
tournament
those can
scene.
say that.
Well, you could
Hey,
probably...
more than Star Wall's got.
You could probably...
Def Jam Fight for New York has a vibrant tournament scene.
Yeah.
Really?
Should I start talking about the games I put on there, or are we waiting for Rob still?
I think we're still kind of stalling for Rob to
Stalling.
come back.
Yeah.
I don't know, Rob.
He could be dead.
He
Crab, if
could
you
be.
wanna
The
talk-
landlord may have killed him. We don't know for sure.
He's making the landlord's forcing him to pack up right now.
Probably.
We'll just have to invade Canada.
I'll talk for Rob. I have also played The Witcher and The Witcher 2 on the Xbox 360.
What do you think?
I don't think
It's
the
on the
Wit-
Xbox 360.
I don't think The Witcher 1 made it to consoles.
I don't believe it did, no. Witcher 1 is also
It was probably my
very
memory of
early.
playing on PC then, because I have played both versions, or whatever version. Witcher 2 did not run very good on the Xbox 360. I think it's backwards compatible,
It is.
but I've not tried it on the Xbox One, so it could be better there.
Who knows?
Generally, those games are a little better on the Xbox One backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
Tactics Ogre is pretty good, guys. Even though I think
I
don't know anything about
I want the
Tactics Ogre,
PSP
really.
version.
I've only played
Tell me
the
about
SNES
Tactics
version.
Well, there's this ogre.
And he's
and
way into
uses
tactics.
And for some reason, he wants to cling together. That's
Ew.
the story of the game.
And he's way into Queen.
I will not sing for copyright reasons.
Nobody's listening to this, not even YouTube.
Oh, chronologically, it's the seventh episode of the Ogre Saga.
What? There
Yeah, I
is-
knew there were actually a lot of those
Isn't,
games.
isn't one of them like Ogre Battle or something like that? And, like, there's a lot of Ogre games.
Oh yeah,
I
because
don't,
there's
think, I
like
don't think all of them are.
because there's
localized.
like Ogre Battle 64 Person of Lordly Caliber or whatever.
That's a
Right,
great name.
It is.
It is a really good name. Too bad that one's not nominated. I'd probably say it wins on the strength of the name alone.
So to stall some more time, Grav, how's Shadowverse online now these days?
I mean, it's what the same thing it's always been, which is
So just more meta decks these days?
meta decks. I actually don't know what the current meta's like because a new set just came out, but I figured I should at least mention that game since I have 674 hours played on Steam.
That's
Goodness.
a lot of hours. You played a lot of digital cards.
Digital anime cards.
Yeah. I mean, it's no Shadowverse is no Sword Girls, but
But what is really?
Sword
Exactly.
Girls, Sword Boys. All these.
Sword Girls are old hat. Now it's all about gun girls.
What? Where do boat girls fall in this?
That's
Both
old.
Girls-
That's
both-
old news.
That's old. Nobody plays Can Cole anymore. Or
Now it's all about the Ozzer lane or
Yeah,
whatever.
because of Azure Lane, but that one's not actually. Well, I guess the gun girls isn't a card game either, but the girls plus thing gotcha genre is still going strong.
Yeah, there's also food girls. Girls that are girls and also happen to be food.
Well,
That-
that's
that's
weird.
Give me that thick stick.
So
Very sticky.
Now I'm just getting like flashbacks to Persona 4 Dancing All Night, and this just needs to stop.
Ew.
what's wrong with Persona 4 Dancing All Night?
Nothing
those
but
games are
the.
Don't you want to bite that girl's supple lamb?
I do not want to bite that girl's supple lamb. Did you forget that was an actual quote, John?
Which one?
About the girl's supple lamb or whatever?
I forgot about that.
Yeah, no, that's an actual quote.
Who said that?
One of the new
Kitchen
idol.
girls?
Yeah,
They're all aren't they based on foods or whatever?
yeah, they are.
Oh yeah, Common Kitchen, and the rest of them are food for some reason. Yeah, I think Robin may be bleeding out. Should we call the cops?
I'll call the cops right now.
Oh, thanks.
Hey Siri.
Thanks, that
call
from you.
Oh
911.
boy.
oh god.
Just watch someone's phone triggers right now.
Hey Siri. call
No, let's not do this.
I'm back.
Okay.
Oh good.
Landlord.
Oh, we thought you were bleeding out right now.
Oh, there's
Yeah,
a-
Serb was about to have Siri call the cops and send them to
Oh.
your place.
And Rob's like, I'm down with $1,000.
Anyway, I've
You
introduced.
don't live in America, so it's not like you'd actually get murdered by the cops like anyone else would.
No.
I don't know. You haven't been in Toronto.
There.
That's true. I just assume that Canadian cops are nicer. I don't know this for
Oh,
sure.
hell no.
Yeah. Around here they're alright.
Well, you're white, so they're of course they'll be nice.
That's true.
Sadly, yeah.
All right.
All right.
Tell us about The Witcher 2, and Tactics Ogre. Let us claim together PSP version?
Yes.
Okay.
Those are great games. I love those
Okay.
games a lot. They're great.
You waited like 5 minutes for this.
Uh, just to get just to get the cut and ball rolling. I think I'm the only person who played Retro Game Challenge because it's like apparently super hard to find.
I played
Uh,
it legally.
Yeah. It's very good, but I'm just gonna cut it because the one that I'm going to throw my
Obviously, it's gonna be Evil Zone.
my weight behind is Evil Zone.
I mean, I guess Evil Zone is the one. Like, I'm the only one who played The Witcher.
I mean,
Joker.
I have played those games, Rob.
I've played The Witcher 2.
I don't think we
Okay.
can win this.
No.
I have
Attack
played
Joker,
The
by the way, you
Witcher-
guys should all play because that game's fucking awesome.
I mean, to be
Like,
fair,
I'm-
like we got. Keep in mind we got like 3, so like
Yeah, like
Evil Zone is probably the winner, but
Yes.
I'd say so.
but we could probably swing Tactics Ogre or one of the Witchers into one of the top 3.
I can see that easily.
Like if
But
just to wheel and deal here super early on, the way I see this shaking out is Evil Zone, Shadowverse, and either Witcher or Tactics Ogre.
If it's
Alright.
between Witcher or Tactics Ogre, I'd go Tactics Ogre personally.
Tactics Ogre as well for me.
All right.
Does
Yeah,
anyone
I played
object?
The Witcher 1 and The Witcher
I-
2 and fell off both of them within an hour, so...
I mean, I prefer The Witcher a lot. Once you get over the hump of sort of the weird gameplay shit and how old it is, despite only coming out in 2007, like, I know that was like...
Once you get over the hump of reading all the weird Polish books in the original Polish to get the
Yes.
the true.
Once you read the 7 books in order, and then you can play the fucking video game. It's I like. Actually, that's not a good idea for the first Witcher because the first Witcher is weird in that they give Geralt amnesia, but then people aren't talking about shit that's very important in the books. It's weird. It's really weird because they just don't want to confuse you too much because it's clearly meant for an audience who's never read those goddamn books. But
Which is most people.
A lot of the quests are in that game are actually really good, like RPG quests. Like they're just a really good. In there's chapter 2, there's a really good like detective quest where you have like 6 or 7 different suspects you're interrogating in different ways and like finding evidence, and you can completely fuck up that quest and not find the right answer, which I ended up doing. You still keep on going, but like it's interesting. It's a really cool part of that game.
You have
It's-
sex
a
with
lot of the
All right,
quests-
so the Witcher's
anyways.
deleted.
But delete it.
What?
Anyway. I'm just putting my hat out there to say, hey,
You're not
There's
willing
not.
to die on this hill, but you are willing to bleed out and then die on a different hill.
boy am I.
I can't defend Star Wall no matter what.
So the games I
I
put
like
in
Star
on
Wars.
here were
I did too, but I don't think it's gonna stay in top.
Yeah.
Sorry, but
my like top 2 were Starwall and Evil Zone just because of SGDQ. I mean, the other games I put on here, Zelda and Environmental Station Alpha, are just legitimately great single player experiences. But
Okay, I
I
was
feel
gonna
like-
ask who put Zelda on because I've never played A Link Between Worlds, but I heard a lot of great things about it.
You should
It's
fucking
good.
play Link
yeah,
Between
it's like
Worlds.
okay, so whenever I go back to Link to the Past, like I want to like it, but it just feels like crap to play. And A Link
Yes,
Between Worlds.
thank you.
Oh,
And Link
I never-
Between
I never
Worlds
felt
is
that, I
like
don't think.
actual, like really good Zelda in more or less the world of A Link to the Past.
so you say like
Hot take.
that's the better
straight
version.
up, it is the world of Link to the Past.
Hot takes is
I'm really glad about that because I have never liked A Link to the Past.
I never
You
liked
and
Zelda.
And,
It's just-
and TFP are kind of
Yeah.
on the same page there.
well, TFP didn't like it because he couldn't figure out how to lift up a bush.
Really?
Did,
Yeah,
the,
that's the only reason he didn't play the game. Was 'cause he
Jesus
couldn't figure out
Christ.
I went
Jesus
back
Christ.
afterwards and played more of it, but I still find it very boring. So
My problem with Link to the Past was when I got like pretty far on, and it was a dungeon that required like the fire and the ice rods. And I
Oh,
hit
is the
of
one where you're on the
those.
platform that moves?
Yes, and I only have one of those, and you can get all the way to
Little
the
rock.
end boss of that dungeon and not
Be
have
locked.
the rod and
Yeah.
be fucked. And I'm just like that.
I'm
that
not
pisses
going
me off
back
so
and do
much,
this
I
shit
stopped. I'm
again.
not going because you have to go backwards.
I would like
to
to add
second.
A Link to the Past, most disappointing game.
Yeah.
Damn,
So, yeah.
I liked it, but I've only played it once, even though I own it
It's a game I
multiple times.
respect a lot, but
Yeah.
I've never been able to finish it.
Yeah, but anyway, I just wanted to give that and Environmental Station Alpha some props because those are both really good games. But yeah, the stuff I want to fight for would be like Star Wall and Evil Zone. But yeah, and also you can cut Shadowverse. That was just I've played it 600 hours.
no. Well, in that case, I think our final 3 are going to be Star Wall, Evil Zone, and Tactics Ogre. And I feel like
All right.
the winner is probably going to be Evil Zone,
for better and for worse.
but mostly better.
I probably personally would have gone Evil Zone, Witcher, Tactics Ogre. Because, I don't know, I like Star Wall, but I didn't like it that much. It was fun, but eh. I don't have any great affinity for Star Wall. Evil Zone, on the other hand.
Insert sound effect.
Evil Zone's pretty good. Yeah.
So congratulations to Evil Zone, our old game of 2018.
Alright.
What year is it? What year are we doing this for?
Who
What is
cares?
time?
Who cares?
What is time? All right, now we have our most disappointing game nominees.
All right.
Dragon Ball Fighters, Detroit Become Human, Shaq Fu: A Legend Reborn, Agony, Castlevania Requiem, We Happy Few, The Quiet Man, Fallout 76, Dissidia Final Fantasy NT, Dynasty Warriors 9, Onrush, and Forza Horizon 4. Hooray!
Alright, I will take this one right off the bat. You can cut Dynasty Warriors 9.
Because who was
Because-
excited for it?
Okay, here's the thing. When they
Yeah.
first announced it, it was like, hey, like an open world Dynasty Warriors thing where it's like the full map and the armies moving around in real time and taking. It was a cool idea that very quickly, as every trailer came out, like became very obvious they had no idea what the fuck they were doing making that game. It is the emptiest ass open world I have ever seen. The AI is not able to handle the fact that they exist in an open world. Like, you have soldiers just spinning in circles, unable to know what to do. The enemy does not know how to exist in the world they've been placed in.
It's like they
So-
literally copy and pasted
so
their
it's-
AI from old games.
Man,
and just-
So it's
Kinda-
like a
kinda
Dynasty
feels that
Warriors
way.
game, is what I'm hearing.
Like,
But,
it is... I had bottom of the barrel expectations for that game, and it surpassed them. It is a Fallout 76 situation of I expected this to be bad, and it was
Now,
worse.
I
But
have
it
an
does not
argument
need to be on this list because no one was
Yeah.
excited. Alright.
Fair.
Speaking
I mean, I
of
have a
no one
reason-
being excited, can I cut Detroit? Because who in this room was excited for Detroit?
It belongs
Also, I
in a
think that
different
game is
section.
like that game. Also, I thought was surprisingly better than I thought it would be.
Yeah, that game surpassed my expectations.
Like, I honestly believe you took was it? Oh, fuck,
Connor?
Kara. If you just took Connor on his own, that's a pretty solid game. Honestly, it's problems, but it's actually I like that. I like that story.
Yeah.
It's good.
I don't know. I think
That's
still.
good.
I think it still belongs in most disappointing games because it didn't disappoint me.
And now
Oh, you're
It-
saying
it,
it didn't-
it wasn't
It
bad.
wasn't the train wreck you wanted.
Yes, exactly.
You wanted more racism.
Yes.
There's
I
an
want-
argument to be made there. That you wanted a train wreck and got just like a
I was
3-car
expecting
pileup.
full David Cage, and I
He's gonna
got
spend-
David Cage with some restraint.
M. Night Shyamalan makes a semi-decent movie.
You wanted Lady in the Water, but you got Glass.
So
Can
why
I talk about Dragon Ball Fighters?
Yeah.
Apparently, people have strong opinions about Dragon Ball
I have
Fighters.
strong
So
opinions
Yeah, so I was the one that I think who originally put it on this list,
I
but
agree
I
with
might
you.
not have the strongest opinions. So here's my take. It's an absolutely beautiful game. It really brings their Xrd engine up the next notch. It's got a great IP. They represent the characters lovingly. The music's fine, and the gameplay just didn't click with me at all. Like I don't like their auto combos. I don't like.
Which one?
Yes, exactly. Like every button's an auto combo. Yeah, I don't like the way that works. I didn't like the way high level play would look like. It's gone through several revisions, but early on, even watching the game in high level play, was
It has
just
smash
a
isms.
snore fest. And oh yeah, so even when I'm not playing the game, this game is ruining my life because I go to tournaments and Dragon Ball Fighters is running like 2 to 3 times as long as equivalent other fighters, so all the brackets get pushed fucking back. I don't know. It's
I'll add on to that. I
Okay.
disagree with him about the music. I think it's trash. The game, it's neutral. Is so weird. Super
Yeah.
dashes makes the game really like fucked up.
So what I'm
it's
hearing is
not
this is-
fun after like maybe.
this is sticking around, is
Oh,
what
yeah.
I'm hearing.
This is a strong
And also,
contender.
it's not fun fighting the same characters over and over because so.
Um,
And
oh
then
yeah,
what
I
was
didn't even think about the DLC. I mean,
yeah, like I have a bunch of other problems too. Like the first month of this game, the netcode was so fucked. Like the online was so fucked.
hear
It didn't
I hear
even
the balance
work,
has
really.
For the first
I
month.
hear
it
the
was
balance has gotten better, but like the first few rounds of DLC is like, oh well, Bardock's out. Better stop playing every other character.
Yeah.
Just pair the next
And
best
that
next
kinda
best two with
sucks. I feel
Bardock.
like-
Yeah,
Yeah.
and also it didn't help that the leak you see like, oh, it's base Goku and base Vegeta, and you're like, oh
Yeah.
god, I hope it's really not that, and it really happened.
Yeah. Which is
What,
actually,
you
like,
don't want a
I'm
team of
mixed on that 'cause
Gokus?
It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool because those are very different styles of those characters. Like they would play differently,
Yes,
but like,
then you look at the screen.
but it's just like it's
billion
like how many fucking Gokus and Vegetas do we need? And
all of them.
I mean,
And
that's
yeah,
fine
so,
because
like,
it's a Dragon Ball game, but like also the Gokus and the Vegetas, like they have different specials to some extent, but their normals are so goddamn similar that
Yeah.
I
like
still use same sound clips.
well, that's a lot of the problems with characters
Characters.
I find is that they're very similar, which is kind of fine for a Dragon Ball game as a Dragon Ball game is like everyone at the end ends up fighting similar, just like it just. They
I
have
feel
different
like I'm not saying like that Marvel
beats.
is the greatest fighting game ever, but like every Marvel game has characters that play significantly more different from each other than a lot of the fighters' characters do.
Yeah, I'm not familiar enough with Marvel to say either way, but there's a fair amount in fighters that play similar enough that it feels the samey, and also yeah, like the first month the netcode was not great, and me and Server could hardly fucking play together for like the first week or two, and I was just like, I don't want to play with random people online. I don't really enjoy that with fighting games. So then I'm gonna
Yeah,
get story mode.
the only time
The
we were
story
able
mode is garbage.
the only time we
Or
were
is
able
it?
to actually play was when we figured out the thing where if you change your name, you can actually.
Yeah,
get
That
it.
wasn't even
fucking
100% guaranteed.
That wasn't
No, it
true.
wasn't,
We
but-
fucking around with it to get it working. It was so broken. I know they fixed it later on, but like I bought it when
At
it
le-
came
at
out,
le-
and
at
it was
least
the
the bad
first
thing
month,
came
and
out.
it made me stop playing the game. It totally killed the game for me. And
Yeah.
then I go, I'm like, okay, I'll play the story mode, and the story mode's fine for a bit, and then it's like the same old shit.
And I
it's
couldn't
drawn
handle the
out
story
so
mode. It's just
fucking long.
nothing about it
I
enticed
like
me.
the-
All it
I
was
like
just
the
roasting.
character
You can even
bits.
watch it online.
I like the character bits where they actually have like them talking to each other. Like that was fun, dumb fan fiction stuff. But the going around the fucking board and just doing the same fucking fight over and over and over.
I know, you
was
always
so
took the shortest
bad.
route, right?
Oh yeah, because you don't want to play the game anymore.
Yeah, 'cause
Because you're tired of the fucking game. That sucked. And the DLC to me just very disappointing and like very just typical picks that are just boring that have been in Dragon Ball games 1,000 times
Where's the Cybermen?
and like
if
the
you
season
play
pass
Nappa.
for
Yeah,
eight
Nappa.
characters. Yeah, there's a side.
Oh,
But for
wow.
8 characters, I feel like the season pass is really like too much money.
it was a
for
lot.
Like it's like $50 in Canada here. Like no, like fuck off. I'm not paying almost the full price of the game for.
I used that 20%
characters.
discount they had for watching the Detroit trailer.
I hope you
And
feel
the only character I was happy with the DLC was like I think only Android 17, and that was
Yeah,
it.
he
I mean,
was-
He was
love
completely different.
I love Bardock. I think Bardock's a fucking rad character. I hate that they gave him the Super Saiyan form because I hate that so fucking.
Oh
stupid.
yeah, I forgot. People were disappointed with the blue version of Vegito.
Well, he's
yeah.
barely in the fucking show. Like he shows up for half an episode. Like he's not really a character. He doesn't do
there was
anything.
I had
He does,
another
like one of his moves from the original.
Oh
series, and that's
right,
it.
even
Just-
even though I don't mind auto combos in that game way too good. That auto correcting is really messed up.
Oh yeah, if we want to talk about like what's the dash move called? What's its official
Dragon
name?
Rush or
Super Dash.
Super
Dragon,
Yo,
like the-
Rush the
It's
Dragon.
the one where you
Dragon.
just like the white aura, right?
Homing dash that will just randomly cross up. Like,
Yes,
in
that,
the, in the
that's what I was
weirdest
talking about.
ways.
That thing is like really
Yeah.
messed up.
I don't know. I was kind of disappointed by Dragon Ball Fighters the moment they announced it was gonna be a team game. I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be kind of like Arcana Hearts 3, because that game pretty much plays like a Dragon Ball, like a fighting game anyway, where you're just the homing dashing and like the huge stages with a lot of vertical depth.
So you're saying Examu should have made it?
I'm saying that they should have looked at Arcana Hearts and thought, hey, there's this game that plays a lot like what a Dragon Ball should game. Just look at like the homing dash in Arcana Hearts 3 and how that works. It's exactly what a Dragon Ball game should have been. And like I can imagine Arcana Hearts 3 but with fucking Kamehamehas all over the place. And I found that there's kind of a problem I have with BB Tag 2 where it's just a bit. I'm not great at fighting games, but it's just too. It's too simple. Where it just kind of feels like it feels like every match just kind of plays the exact same.
Yeah, I feel like the
Every-
skill curve is very weird too, because it feels like you start off and the bar between like beginner and intermediate is very low. Like it's very short distance, and then the intermediate to like expert is like huge.
Yep.
Well, at that
right?
point,
Like it's like
at that
everyone
point,
can be everyone can be good at the game, but it's hard. It's hard and not fun really to get great. in my
also
opinion.
like it's fine if it's a team game, but the fact that every character gets one assist kind of breaks a lot of characters because like some characters are kind of defined by how good their assists are. If
Yeah.
if your character has a shitty assist, you have a shitty character.
You have a
I know,
shitty team
isn't
almost.
that, like for the longest time, like people were just picking Vegeta because his assist is so good.
Yeah,
Still is.
people still pick him. They nerfed
Okay.
it and they still pick it because it's
It's really good.
just really good.
because he's like okay as a character, but his assist is great.
Actually, I think.
Or he's
even if
great.
he
I
can't
don't know.
play-
That's
Yeah,
why
but
16 is still played.
Anyways,
I can't really speak to the current tournament meta of that game, but yeah, at least you know for the first half of the last year, it was a bit whack. And
As-
to people's credit, they were having a lot of fun with the game, and I don't
No, it's good for them.
demand that they
I
be
wish I did
miserable or
too.
anything. Just
I'm
my
glad
experience
other
with
people
this
can
game
enjoy it.
It's
was
good for the
not
scene,
particularly-
that's for sure.
great.
Yeah, I hope there's
As
Dragon Ball Fighters 2
as
that
the
can
meta
access this
expert on Dragon Ball Fighters, the true meta is fucking stab the other guy so you get to be on the player one side.
I just hope that Dragon Ball Fighters, like how big it is, it doesn't set a trend to how fighting games are made later on, because it's fine if they want to make a game with 3 fucking auto combos. That's fine. I just hope that doesn't become like the standard. Like Dragon Ball Fighters did it, we gotta do it too.
stuff. Yeah.
I also
I
want
just-
to point out that we got to turn these other 9 games into 2 games.
I was gonna
So
say,
I feel like
in that
Fighters.
spirit, I want to
And
add
honestly, I think we should
Cross
keep
Tag
Dragon
Battle
Ball
to this
Fighters.
list.
Okay, Shaq Fu, like, did anybody have any expectations to the point where it?
No, once they show what that game was, that it's not a fighter, I just ignored it completely.
So
What is
my,
it,
my thing with
beat 'em
Shaq Fu was, I mean, I did expect it to be a good game, but I also, what I was disappointed by was just how offensive it was. Like
Yeah,
all this
like
homophobic, transphobic, horrible humor in it that just like didn't need to be there. Like what the fuck?
I expect
had
better
that.
from Shaq.
yeah.
Oh,
I mean, you can totally cut it. I just wanted to say
it's
my
more
piece.
offensive.
What
Oh,
the
no,
hell,
I get
Shaq
that.
Fu, guys?
what's Agony?
I don't know what Agony is either.
Agony
It's
is the
that-
weird horror game with the vagina
Set in hell.
monsters.
oh.
Like they had been advertised for I feel like 3 years.
Oh, I
and
think I
just
remember kinda
constantly
stuff like
put
that.
out ads and stuff like Agony. It's this everything's dark red and all meaty and fleshy and gross, and it's like,
I
oh, it's like you're
still-
really in
It's
hell.
like, it's like Clive Barker's Paradise.
Yes, it's like they hyped this thing up for so long and had so many people going like, oh, it's gonna be this weird, crazy survival game, but in hell. And then it came out and it is just
In
this
hell.
boring, super linear, just like
It's a
like one of the
walking
worst games I have seen in an extremely long time. Just like
simulator. It's
straight
a
up
walking
bad.
simulator.
kinda, but like worse than that because it actually requires you to do things, but doesn't give you the tools to do them well. There's like stealth and pseudo combat, but it's all bad. Like everything about that game is just a horrible fucking mess. But again, like people were excited. I was not one of those people.
So can I cut it?
I'd say yeah.
Was anybody excited for We Happy Few?
No.
Boom.
Not by the point it came out.
The city we can probably get rid of too. Who played it here? I think only like 2 people.
I did.
I played
Okay,
it.
so
I-
maybe 3.
So I really like Dissidia, the first 2 Dissidia game. I really fucking love those
Yeah.
things. And they announced in this one that they were adding fucking Ramza from Final Fantasy Tactics, who's someone that I said should have been in there for fucking ages. So I was psyched about it. And then
I
they,
was talked about that too.
God, they fucking butchered that game. Like, A, they made it all fucking team-based. Fucking
It's-
ugh.
It's like a Gundam versus and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's plays very like it does not feel like the other Dissidia games.
No,
It feels like a dumbed down team based version
It's
made
like
for like
a-
online play with other people.
It's
It
like
feels
a-
bad.
I wouldn't go. I like the game.
I
wouldn't say-
cannot stand it.
I think it's fun. I think it's fun enough as it is, especially if you get like 2 other buddies to play with. I wouldn't say it's great. The online isn't that good, at least, especially compared to something like Gundam, where the net code in that is actually pretty alright. But also, I didn't pay full price for it.
I didn't play
Oh,
the full.
I
didn't
need to
get the
ask.
full version, so
Is
I
the
put
City
the
of Final
big
Fantasy was it full price when it was released?
Yeah.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, this is like almost an arcade game ported directly to the console, and it was bare bones.
Yeah.
You have online. You have a weird story mode that's handled weirdly.
And that was full price, huh?
That's about it.
like I went
Jesus.
from playing like probably 200 plus hours between the first and second Dissidias to playing the demo of NT and saying this is disgusting to play and I don't want it.
Yeah, I wish it was more like at least Dissidia 2012. I think that was like the perfect Dissidia.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind more of the streamlining that they did in NT, but it needed more of like those RPG elements that kind of set it apart and make it 1v1.
Yeah, like
like
they
the
took out like a
full-
lot of the customization you could do with your character's movesets.
Yeah,
Like
And
it
if they-
felt just so small.
and if they wanted to do a lot of the streamlining to make it more competitive, quote unquote, and not have a lot of the like, if you wanted to have like ranked, and then wanted to have player matches where you can have like all like the weird customization, that's fine. But I just kind of think they went around it the wrong way. It looks pretty though.
Did they
Yeah.
ever fix the UI in that game? I remember like there's so much shit on the screen when I saw the beta.
There's two different UI options. There's like original or arcade, and then there's pro or some shit like that.
Because there were so many things on the screen, like, Jesus.
Just look at your radar. That's all you get to look at.
So to turn everything off except for the radar.
Yeah.
Who needs a health bar?
Yeah.
Was anyone excited for Fallout?
No.
It can't be disappointing if you didn't
Disappointed.
expect anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it was below my low expectations for sure.
Anyone play Onrush?
I did.
I didn't.
And
Okay,
I
here.
played
Did
it-
anyone play it more than an hour? That's all I played of it, and that's it.
Yeah.
No, it's not good.
I played
That's-
for 15 minutes.
Alright, so
I
get
played
rid
one-
of it then.
yeah.
I played one match and I was like, I'm done.
Alright, Forza, we can talk
Yeah.
about that TFP.
Yeah. It's.
I like the game, but it's a lot of the same.
I mean,
Like,
I'm
what's
even
new to it,
okay with.
basically?
I'm okay with
Aside-
more of the same because like I really liked 3, and apparently a lot of people's complaints with Forza Horizon 3 was that it was more of the same, which seems weird to me because 3 had.
Compared to 2,
See, I think my catch here is that as someone who's now played all
Yeah.
the Forza Horizon, and people speak really fondly of Forza Horizon 2, and I don't see it. Like, I think 2 to me is the weakest of the series.
How dare you?
I would like Forza Horizon 4 if they cut all the prices by like 10%, just across the board, because
some of those
everything
homes are ridiculous.
is insanely expensive and it takes way too long to get money. But
It'll probably be the opposite of. I'll probably have the opposite opinion, but I like Horizon 4's handling cars a lot better.
I mean, I can see that.
I thought 3 was. I had fun with 3, but I always thought the driving was clunky in that one.
I also think that like the environments in 3 were better than 4.
I'll agree with that. I didn't really care for the weather system.
Yeah, it's just I feel like it just didn't.
Just happens every 2 weeks or something.
I think it's every week is when the
Every
seasons
week?
change.
Like, it's a lot of whatever for that.
Yeah, but I think we're the only ones who played it, so I think.
Yeah, we can get rid of it. I can't defend it as the most
I
dis-
think
Yeah.
we'll leave it for now. I'm
I
not
mean-
sure if the Quiet Man and Castlevania are going to hang.
I
So
think
we
Quiet Mansion.
I
Quiet
played it.
Man
I
fine.
bought it.
It can go though.
But
It's funny.
I wanted it to be good, but I kind of agree. Like I was disappointed, but I don't know if I was most disappointed by it.
All right.
All
I
right,
don't
so
know,
let me talk
the
about
Quiet
Castlevania
Man-
quickly.
The Quiet Man did like a loop around where I was disappointed that the game was gonna be bad, and then it came right back around where I was like, it exceeded.
Oh,
my
this is
expectation, and
terrible.
How bad?
Oh, this is.
It was impressive, and
Yeah.
and the writing, and it is one of the funniest games I have ever seen. I mean, you can a shameless plug for TFP.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Second part of the Quiet Man stream where I come in and I just lose my fucking mind. I'm still. And sometimes I go back
Yeah.
to that stream just to watch it again, just to laugh at it.
Yeah, I mean, I
It is
think the Quiet Man is brilliant.
so
I can't
funny.
really say anything bad about it.
Like the fact that the guy gets fucking shot and out of nowhere he just becomes a fucking demon Birdman. And there's no justification for it. It
There's
just
no explanation, no other supernatural elements in the entire game, and no one mentions it. They treat it like it didn't happen.
yeah, and the fact and like the character gets shot in the face. Let's just say that. Like he doesn't get shot in like the arm or something. He gets
No,
shot
he
in
gets
the
shot
fucking
multiple
face.
times.
In the fucking face. There's no reason he should be alive. And then like the fact that when you become the Shadow Devil Man or whatever the fuck, that you do the one move, the super kick, and it loops the same character over and over again.
Like, the person you kick becomes a certain character model to be kicked.
Yep.
And then goes back to being their original character model. It's amazing.
So fucking fun. It's
Rob, have you seen that stream?
No, I did not.
You
it's so-
should.
The Quiet Man is the David Cage we wanted.
Yeah,
I was gonna ask if it made up for Detroit.
yeah.
It is. I recommend to whoever the fuck is watching this, please go watch a Let's Play. Don't play it. Go watch a
Yeah,
Let's
no,
Play.
don't.
It is.
Yep. Watch like the Giant Bomb plays. Watch the Best Friends. You
It
know,
is-
Watch us.
You know.
It
Best
is-
friends never did it.
Matt and Liam did, but
Oh, well, they don't count.
No.
It is so fucking fun.
All right.
I loved it.
All right.
All right. So let me give
Castlevania.
Castlevania its due quickly here.
All right.
I'll
So
give-
that basically this is 2/3 of the
Yep.
I think it was 2007 PSP release Dracula X Chronicles. So a not so great port of Symphony of the Night. Like nothing's horribly wrong with it, but it's not the version you'd want. And not so great port of Rondo of Blood, which again, you know, nothing is horribly wrong with it, but it doesn't run quite as good as you'd like. And they were like billing it as not just a remake. Or they were early on. They were talking some shit about how, you know, oh, it's, you know, going to be special or 4K or something crazy. And it's no frills. I don't even think they have like filters. Not that I like filters.
Oh,
but
not even the
usually,
basics. Like,
But usually they don't. Usually they give you like filters, or like you can choose how big or small you want the window to be. And I think it's just like
The filters are bad. The CRT.
there's almost nothing there, and it's two really good games, and they're still really good, but like
the packaging
But they
is,
did the bare
cash
minimum.
grab for some anniversary thing, I think.
Yeah.
and also for I think season 2 of the show came out around the same time.
Yep, it did.
And hey, go.
Almost like
I don't think it deserves to win. I'm not even sure if it hangs in the top 3, but it was disappointing.
no, I can see that.
I had problems with it too. I really hated how they used the PSP art. Like the game's not even in there too. Like when he says like 2.5 or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't.
I'm not sure if you guys noticed too if you played it, but there is quite a little bit of audio lag in both of those games too, and it bothers me. I have to reconfigure my TV to play
I
it.
don't know if it was lag, but yeah, there's some glitchiness with the audio in both of them.
Oh no, there is definitely like a small amount of lag. I have to adjust my TV for that shit for both of those
Didn't
games.
the Rondo of Blood port on the PSP also have some weird audio lag, at least in the cutscenes?
I don't
I think
I
that
don't think so.
was a thing, but I don't remember.
I don't know if it's lag, but as far as Rondo ports go, the Virtual Console version I think was much better emulation.
I mean, didn't it commit the biggest sin of all of using the wrong voice acting?
It didn't use the PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
It was
not
like
as mad
on the
about
PSP
that
version
as
too,
some
though,
people
so.
are, but yeah, it doesn't have the original voice tracks, and I don't think it has I Am the Wind either, so...
Okay.
I don't know. I think
Yeah.
it's not that bad.
So it could cut, and then
Yeah.
Cydia and Forza Horizon are top 3.
And I've
with
given the
Fire
fact that
sounding
it
like
took
wins.
like about 20 minutes to get you guys to stop talking about Dragon Ball Fighters, I'm thinking,
I still say Dragon Ball Fighters wins this one, and I put Forza as third.
I
yeah,
could agree with that. I will just say that the city of probably
Because
killed
you
the city.
make me mad. You seem to have like huge problems with the city, so I think second will be okay.
I think. It
I mean, to be
killed
fair-
Dissidia,
to be
which
fair,
sucks
like,
because I liked Dissidia.
I don't think these are really in any order. Like this
Yeah,
is just the winner,
Yeah,
and
I was
then
just saying. Just
The
saying. like,
runner-ups are just in the category. They're not. It's not like 1, 2, 3. This
Yeah.
is just winner and then runner-ups.
yeah.
all right, best remake.
Congratulations to Dragon Ball Fighters for being the most disappointing game of 2018. Now we move on to the best remake.
Contrary to being the game of the fighter of the year at the Game Awards.
Yeah, wow.
Oh yeah. Wait.
remaster. We're not plebs.
Best remake, remaster, reimagining port. We
There's quite a
have
bit here.
there are apparently a lot of ports
Jeez.
this year.
Yeah,
Last
a lot of good
year.
ports this year.
We had Bayonetta 1+2, Burnout Paradise Remastered, Shadow of the Colossus, Secret of Mana, Yakuza Kiwami 2, the Mega Man X Legacy Collections 1 and 2, Night Trap 25th Anniversary Edition, Hyrule Warriors Definitive
Hyrule
Edition.
Warriors this year?
Yeah,
No,
the
probably
definitive
a-
The
edition.
Switch one was, right?
Those are-
Yeah.
Which,
like
Oh, damn.
Castlevania Requiem. Yeah, that one. The Capcom Beat 'em Up Bundle, Katamari Damacy Reroll, Resonance of Fate, and Lumines Remastered.
Alright, might as well start off by just maybe like knocking things off. There's a
I'm
lot of-
I'm gonna
Well,
say
I-
maybe we cut Castlevania Requiem.
That's what I was gonna say.
I do have a question because we're
What's-
not judging these games based on just how good they are as games themselves, but how good.
No, as a re-release.
as
Yeah.
a real release.
yeah.
Upgraded, if not upgraded, or just not what they said it was.
Yeah, and
As much as I love Bayonetta 1 and 2,
I was gonna say, in that spirit, Bayonetta 1 and 2 are essentially just the Wii U versions on the Switch.
yeah, they
As much as
run.
I love having them portable, and it's
They're
far from
great.
bad, but
They're
Yeah.
still amazing.
Like-
I got a
I think
platinum on
these
the
are-
second Boulder fight while we were having our most disappointing discussion.
Like,
I think
play them.
They do run. I think they run at a more consistent frame rate. Like there's
Yes.
less frame rate
I
hits,
believe
but
that is the
besides
case.
Besides that, Bayonetta 1 and 2 on Wii U, as far as I know, I don't know.
Yeah.
They're
I mean-
still,
But-
still great,
Yeah,
and it's just more of that here on the Switch. So.
they are
I'd say-
great.
I'd
They have
say it's
always
the
been
best
great.
version.
They continue to be
Yes.
version of both
Yeah.
those games.
But they don't do anything.
It,
fun.
it can go.
Yeah.
It can go.
I will say Mega Man X Legacy Collection. They are literally just the ROM dumps of those games, like all of them.
I mean, yeah, but the nice thing that those collections do is like bringing in all the concept art and history and stuff, and I think that's still nicely done
That's
in
if you
those.
play enough
But
to
I-
actually get them.
I don't know if that's enough to make it hang with some of the
No.
better entry category. By the same token, Katamari Reroll is basically it's still just Katamari, only now it's in HD.
Mhm.
So
Still fun.
So play it.
nothing new,
but-
nothing new at all. It's a really good game. It's an
Yeah.
amazing game, of course, but
I think to that end, I think Resonance of Fate is also
I
just
agree.
Resonance of Fate.
It's just,
Like,
it's just a
It's in
I'm
4K.
glad it's out there.
like
I'm glad
yeah,
it's out there so that people can play it because that game's
fucking
awesome.
play Resonance of Fate because it
I've
is
been playing-
the best
I-
RPG of that year, considering that like Final Fantasy 13 came out the week after or
Yeah.
something.
that goddamn game is
Which one do you think made more
slaughter.
money?
I've actually been playing through Resonance of Fate, and it's weird seeing that game in full resolution. Yeah.
I will say
I put it up there just to let people know you can buy Resonance of
Yeah.
Fate
on your PC.
and please
and PS4.
and PS4.
Oh, okay.
talking about the Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition here. I think it probably doesn't need to. It doesn't need to win, but I think it should definitely be on the list because they actually finally put all of the 3DS characters and stuff into the same game, like on a console.
Could you not
Like-
do that before?
No, the 3DS characters were 3DS exclusive. You couldn't
Yeah, it
do
was
that
exclusive.
shit.
Because I thought
Like
there was
all the
you
stuff from
got
Hyrule
the
Warriors
3DS.
Legends, Linkle, Tetra, all the Wind
Yeah.
Waker stuff, all that was just in the 3DS version.
Oh.
The Definitive
Is-
Edition bundles all that up into the console version of the game and puts all
That's
of it
fair.
together, gives you
That's
all
fair.
the DLC, the season pass stuff in one package,
That's a lot of
runs
fucking-
well.
That's a lot of game.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
I was gonna ask,
like
did they
painted
fix
picture
it?
maps of bullshit. Like it's crazy. You could play that game for months and not be done with it, which I kind of did. But I think it should be on the list just because it is finally. It is what it says. It is the definitive edition of that game. It is everything in that game.
Make a good case for it.
I really like it.
Um,
It's a very good game, and they finally put everything into it. Like it's finally the complete version of that game. It's
Oh,
the legit-
Burnout.
Yeah, it was like just to double cut things.
It's just
Burnout Paradise is very good.
Mhm.
Yes.
Hey,
It
hey,
looks good, too.
you, I don't like your girlfriend. No way, no way. I think you need
I
a new
think
one,
you might need a new one.
but I don't think it's one of the. I don't think it.
It's still the same game.
Yeah.
Exactly. It just looks a lot better. The shadows are a lot better in
Yes.
that version, but that's about it for me.
And kind of the same with Lumines. Like Lumines is
But
very
HD
good.
Rumble,
It
though.
does have HD Rumble on the Switch version, but
It's in my case, you can probably still remove it off the list. I'm surprised it actually was better than the original version itself too, because I thought they would honestly like fuck it up.
Yeah.
All right.
So how
what
long
do
can we go without talking about Night Trap? Because I don't think there's
was
anything
about-
that needs to happen here.
I was about to ask about how you felt about Night Trap.
I was,
It is a piece of history,
That is
Uh-huh.
true.
but
Nintendo
forgot.
testified before Congress, and
Yeah.
they said that they would never have Night Trap on a Nintendo console.
and
2018 proved them to be liars
Yes.
before Congress, before the law.
but yeah.
Well, thankfully, that doesn't carry much weight anymore.
Welcome,
So,
Miyamoto.
hey,
I think Secret of Mana can probably go.
actually, if anything, I keep that because
Yeah, I figured Grav might be the only one that actually talks about it.
Well, I also played it, and I like Secret of Mana. I like the remake and port. I don't think it's that great. I don't think it's a particularly good-looking remake. It kind of just looks like those DS ports of the Final Fantasy games. Kind of like this basic 3D-looking game. But I don't know. I don't think it was the. I don't think it deserves to be in the top 3 or runner-up of best remakes.
Alright. So my piece on this is I like the look. It's a fully voice acted in both Japanese and English, which of course wasn't in the original Super Nintendo game. It's got the original soundtrack plus an arranged track, and you can choose between them. They've done some things to streamline the gameplay, like you can shortcut spells to your trigger buttons rather than go through the menu every time you want to recast. And I thought it was just, a lot of fun and well handled. There were some bugs, but they fixed most of those in the patch. Yeah, I guess mileage may vary, but I really liked it.
So, would you like to keep it on the list, or you think it's gonna go?
Well-
I mean, I think it can survive this particular
I-
round.
Okay.
I see it.
Did any of us play the beat 'em up bundle?
I have.
Bundle. I had that. I played it. It's a nice selection of games. They added access to like all the arcade dip switches and
Yep.
some nice concept art and stuff. But I don't think beyond that there's enough to necessarily keep it in. I mean, like I would keep this before I keep Mega Man X Legacy Collection, just because I feel
I
like
agree.
there's more there.
So you wanna-
But I think
Here we-
both of those can go. So.
Okay, I kind of
okay.
yeah.
All right.
What do we think about Shadow of the Colossus?
I think it needs to stay.
It looks really, really good
It looks
compared
really-
compared to like the past.
I'm kind of
versions.
conflicted because, like, yeah, it looks fucking amazing, and riding around that world, I still want to explore everything in there. I know there's nothing there, but I still love that landscape a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it loses a bit of its art style by being so nice and clean and high res, and just sort of everything being just
It kind of loses a bit of like that
linearly-
oversaturated blue.
yeah, like the bloom isn't quite the same, and like the textures are not as muddy, obviously. But like I kind of liked how grungy it looked, like how
Are-
Wanderer
Are the
looked.
are the physics still the same? I remember seeing a video of something like
No,
something was a
It
little
feels
weird.
similar. It feels
No,
very similar to me.
It's very similar, but the physics are very different.
It's not 100%, but it's
I
pretty
heard
much-
that it was like there were physics differences between like the PAL edition of the game or something like that.
No,
Oh,
it's
No,
Is that
no,
what it is?
I think
No,
that
no.
was frame rate.
no,
Okay.
No,
It was
it's like-
the PAL version. It was the grip. They literally made the game harder. The grip.
Oh,
Wanderer
okay.
would slip more
And
often,
also
which
wasn't
kinda
that-
made it more frustrating.
Isn't it like the PS3 collections uses the PAL
Yeah.
version or
Yeah,
something?
Yeah, which kind
Okay.
of sucks because it's like you don't. It kind of sucks because this is, I guess, the PS4 version in a way is kind of the best version because I don't really like the PAL version that much because of the changes they made to it to make it harder and therefore just more frustrating.
But let the record show, I never let go of the grab button.
Yes, of course.
All right,
We believe
we've made it this far. Has anyone said a word about Yakuza yet?
No, but it's really good. It is
really, really good.
They
It's
took the
on
Yakuza
that-
2
Minus the Majima section.
and they put it in the Yakuza 6 combat engine, which means
Which,
everything
runs better than it did in.
Yes, it runs like, and also you get all of Kamurocho, which you did not get in 6. Which is like the one knock I have against actual Yakuza 6 is like half that map is just, this is under construction, go away.
I feel like I brought that up in when we talked about 6 was the fact that it kind of feels like this is their first.
I mean, it was their first like
Yeah,
PS4
Yakuza
exclusive.
Yeah, Yakuza 6 feels kind of a bit like a tech demo, a bit.
For that end.
It's a
It's
really
like
good
more-
tech demo, but
It's a really
think
good tech
It
demo,
was them
but
pushing that engine to see what they could do with it,
yeah, and then
kind of not wanting to push it too hard.
and
So
then
it's like
Kiwami-
3 to PS3.
wait, what?
What's that?
What?
I haven't played 3, so I don't know.
Oh, I was gonna say, so is it kind of like Yakuza 3 to
Oh
PS3?
yes, sort of.
Probably
Where it
not
has growing
as big of a
pains.
jump.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but Kiwami 2 feels like the first full
Yeah.
Yakuza game in
Next-
the
the
in the
actual
next
consoles.
in the next
In the
in the
current gen.
new engine. Yeah.
so it's like Yakuza 4 then.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah. Only without the
Multiple.
multiple stories. Yeah. So Kiwami 2.
It looks great. I know.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
Like-
Kiwami 2
looking
is
at
gonna
it.
be my
Like-
personal winner for this category.
Yeah.
Definitely the best
Um,
remake, I think.
I'm kind of
I
with
think it
Serve on
sticks.
this one.
if not wins, yeah.
I kind of feel like of these 4, I think Secret of Mana is the weak link.
I'm fine with letting Secret of Mana die. I just wanted it
mean-
to survive this log.
On the one hand, I get that. On the other hand, I'm not sure what the Shadow of Colossus remake does besides being Shadow of the Colossus.
And
Uh,
I mean,
It looked fucking gorgeous.
For a re-release, looking gorgeous is actually one big thing. For
yeah,
us.
it-
I mean,
it-
that's a huge game, technically,
Yeah.
like a huge game on so many
Mhm.
levels, and they faithfully recreated every goddamn thing. and
Yeah,
that's-
Except for the part where you said it looks worse. But you know, whatever.
I said artistically, like art,
Uh-huh.
the art, purely on art.
So they
style.
made a worse version of the game. All right, that's what I'm getting here.
Also, to add a little bit to Shadow of the Colossus, the Shadow of the Colossus community had like this really big like those little medallion things
Yeah,
that you can find, and like you could go to the Reddit of Shadow of the Colossus, and there's just like it almost kind of felt like an ARG, those alternate reality.
they added a collectible in the world.
Yeah,
Oh.
and it kind of brought the community, and there were people like making like whole new theories,
Which
and
is really cool.
Nomad was making new videos about it, and it was
It's
really
pretty
nice.
cool.
Yeah, so that's kind of my thing for Shadow of the Colossus. I don't think it wins, but I think it deserves to be in the runners up. Secret of Mana, I think, is just kind of the weakest one here.
All right, I have never played any of the Secret of Mana versions, so I can't speak to that. I was just
I can't
curious.
speak to it either.
I was curious what Shadow of Colossus did aside from just kind of being, like Bayonetta 1 and 2, just a remake of the game on another.
Well, well, Bayonetta 1 and 2 were just.
Well, yeah, those are just ports. But like, it's like,
Uh,
hey, it's the
Shadow of
same
the
game.
Colossus
It just looks
was-
better.
Was a full
Debatably better.
master. They built that shit from the ground up.
Yeah, they did good work on Shadow of the Colossus. I'm
All right.
I'm okay with that. Yeah, because Secret of Mana, they put a lot of work into that too, but like it wasn't a technical masterpiece or anything.
Mhm.
Oh, what was the price of that game actually? I remember not buying because I thought it was too high. I think.
Secret-
Shadow or
Oh no,
Secret of Mana launched
Secret of
at
Mana.
might have been 40.
40, I think.
Okay, so Canadian, it was like 50, almost 55 ish.
55.
So yeah,
99.
yeah, the price was not worth it to me.
Okay, so we got it right. I mean, it's Kiwami.
Kiwami 2.
Kiwami,
I think
Kiwami.
Kiwami 2 wins.
Yep.
that's fair.
I think,
And Shadow of the
ironically,
Colossus and Earl
I closed the tab with last year's, but I think Kiwami won last year, hilariously.
I could see that.
That's not the
The crowd
right.
knows what it likes.
It's not even fair.
$53.50. Secret of Mana.
I mean, they keep remaking the games on like better engines, so if they
I
just
mean,
keep it up, they can win this year after year.
Yeah.
Also, the price of Kiwami was also pretty good.
All right. Now we have
This one we don't even have to argue about. SNK Hero wins.
best
Let's
fighting game, Under Night in Birth, Exalata Est, whatever.
You said exactly like she did.
Yep. Dragon Ball Fighters,
clearly
best
the winner.
fighting game, Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, Koihime Enbu. I'm not gonna even attempt that.
No.
Ryo Rai Rai.
Ro Rai Rai.
Right.
You stopped
Yeah.
at the easiest part.
Pocket Rumble, Them's Fighting Herds, Blade Strangers, SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy, Fighting EX Layer, Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection, Soul Calibur 6, and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
I
So,
vote to immediately eliminate cross tag battle.
Fuck you, no.
Ooh.
They
Should
took
try-
away Kanji's delayed command grab, so fuck
Shit.
that game.
Either way, they took his invincibility away too.
Should we remove?
Right?
Should we remove Dragon Ball Fighters since it won the most disappointing
Yeah.
game?
well, not for that reason, but
hang
I.
Not for that
It's
reason.
gonna win or be on the top 3, so
But yeah, also I think there's other things we like more here.
there's probably 3 other games.
Alright. Start.
So, SNK Heroines.
Oh, right, yeah. There's that.
It plays.
I mean, it has Skullomania, so
That's true. It has Skulloladia.
It has a really good
one of the
lineup.
2 games on this list that has Skullomania in it.
That's actually a very good point. I don't.
I didn't even think about
The
that.
better one?
No, I think.
I haven't played most
Who
of-
played it? Who played SNK Heroines? Like, really?
Correct.
I
did
played
not
it
play
too.
SNK Heroines, unfortunately.
I have.
Fucking okay.
Okay.
It's Smash Brothers.
I'd
Are you
love
not
to
talking
know
about
where my friend's
PlayStation
place.
All-Stars?
Yeah, because like, don't you need to kill him with supers? Like,
Yes, you have to.
Yeah, so it's more PlayStation All-Stars than Smash Brothers.
Smash Bros has more. It's like, just get fucking rid of SNK Heroines. It's so bad. It wasn't worth the price too.
But hey, that fatal cutie hat. It's real good.
You know,
You know,
not
I'm actually
denying
not
that, but
Someone's selling those hats.
you can
okay,
get it
them
with like
fighting
the
hurts.
what?
Anyone
Did
actually play that?
did anybody play Blade of Strangers?
Like I was about to say
yeah, I did.
because I
So Blade Strangers. So Blade Strangers has an interesting cast.
Did you play as Isaac?
But interesting cast. Pretty simple, but you know, it's pretty fun combat system. I don't think anything particularly sticks out about it, and we have some really good contenders.
I also just want to point out that when I said Blade Strangers, John laughed. So I feel like maybe this one goes away.
Go.
Yeah.
Nice first attempt by Nicholas, I think.
Can we talk about the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection?
It's just Street
Sure.
Fighter.
I mean, it's a pretty decent collection of all the Street
There
Fighter 1,
is
2, 3s, and
One
beat
good
Street Fighter
game. There's a single good game in this game.
No, there's Alpha.
which one do you think that is?
Third Strike.
First strike is what he thinks. Okay, yeah.
I don't agree. Okay. But,
I don't agree either, to be honest.
I don't think this is best fighting game. I don't think it's top 3, but I don't agree with your assessment of it either.
Is the online good now, or is it still kind of broken?
Fine when I did it, and it has rollback based, which is what people like for whatever reason. I don't know if it's great or not though.
Okay, so it's probably still busted.
Am I wrong in thinking like these middle bits can probably go? The fat
You're
in the middle.
probably
Think
not
about
wrong.
a few of those. Pocket
Okay.
Rumble is actually really good. It's a 2-button fighting game, kind of patterned on the Neo Geo.
Neo Geo Pocket Color.
Pocket games.
Yeah.
Fighting games. The characters, I think, have good style, good design, good move sets. When, like, in other years, I could see this top 3ing, but I think we have some really good shit on this list still. So I don't think it necessarily sticks around.
Did anybody besides Graf play them fighting herds?
I did actually play
Fighting
a bit of
Herds
that.
is the second game to use Mike C's Skullgirls engine, and I like what they did with some of the characters, and it seems pretty fun. I just didn't play it too much or get into it too hard.
It was
it's-
interesting that like they managed to retool that entire game after kind of like
After
getting a lot of
getting
work
the
done for
lawyers.
the original thing,
Oh,
and then
you know,
getting
the whole
lawyers-
copyright story, yeah.
and then having to essentially redo the whole thing of like, all right, let's make up new characters to fit
Yeah,
the
new
roles.
character designs, Kickstarter, new art.
It
new
is
engine.
impressive that that game exists, and I enjoy the fact that it does immensely. But I also played a little, and it still seems just too early to really.
It was also really nice of the lady to offer immediately
Yeah.
right after when they said
To help
no,
them
you can't
do all
use
the
our
design.
characters, and she's like, I'll draw new ones for you if you want.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, that was
she's
pretty
cool.
cool.
Yeah,
So, and apparently she wouldn't stop. She made like 200 or something designs. But
Yeah.
but they could only put so many in the
Yeah,
actual
I am-
game.
I'm very glad that game exists. I will probably like it a lot once it gets out of early access. Because hey, that Skullgirls engine is really good.
Yeah. So fighting EX layer, nah, right?
Anyone
Game-
play it?
Yeah.
Gameplay's like
I'm interested.
shit.
Goji.
Terry's not in it yet, so.
Oh, then who cares?
Next year, well, this year, whatever.
No, next year.
I like I like Koihime because
do
Grav bought
too,
me the
but it's
Koihime.
more Koihime.
Yeah, Koihime is spectacular, and this is a nice refinement to the previous game. They added one new character, and they made it so that you can select any assist instead of being locked to two assists for each quote-unquote faction. But
It's
probably
also
not my
on
top pick.
consoles.
That's true.
Yeah, you can get it on PS4. But yeah, like my top two for this list, that's not in my top two, and someone else might want to fight for Soul Calibur and Smash. I don't know. Let's hear what they have to say about that.
There are two
I'll say
things
this
on
about
Soul Calibur.
I get the feeling you guys are probably going to talk more about the character creator than anything else.
Well, kind of, but like
It's a lot of, that's what a lot of people play it
it's the
for.
Soul Calibur character creator. It is what it is. It's surprisingly limited this year. I think that introducing like the races has actually made it worse because it's like, oh, here you picked a lizard man, but now you have like tons of shit you can't use. Have like 10 total items you can equip, and it's like this kind of sucks in that regard for a lot of the stuff you want to make. You can't go as fun and crazy with it as you want to. It feels like
Like,
you can still make some really cool shit in it, but like it's limited.
yeah. The thing about the Soul Calibur 6 character creator, because that is definitely most of what I've done in Soul Calibur 6 as of this moment, is it is really good in some really specific ways and terrible in every other way but those very specific ways. And like the very specific ways are like you can do a lot of really good face stuff. You cannot do very much good clothes stuff, and that's incredibly disappointing.
Alright, so having played more than just the character
Yeah.
creator, I will say I like that they have gone kind of Mortal Kombat 9 style, just like, hey, we really fucked up the
Yeah.
story, let's go back to when it was good.
Yeah.
Let's bring back the characters we threw out because it turns out people liked them and didn't
Let's
like our
add
new
in
shit.
the two best guest characters that have been.
Yeah, no, the
What-
2B and
what about
Guild
Negan,
cannot be
though?
denied. What?
What about Negan?
Shut up. So 2B and Guild are both fantastic. They are both really good. 2B has so much work put into it that it is insane. And the stage for 2B, has anyone seen that thing?
No.
No.
Oh, where you
It's like
hear,
it's the destroyed
is
city from Near Automata.
You hear
It's-
Emil's song playing in the background. And
Oh my god.
Yeah, like if you turn down the game's music and like mute it,
You can
then
hear
in that stage,
Yeah.
no, Emil is driving around in the background of the stage, and as he gets closer to the part of the stage you're fighting on, the
You
music
hear-
gets louder.
That's
But
funny.
you pretty much can't hear it at all unless you mute the game's actual music.
That's funny.
Because the soundtrack in that game is very loud and it will drown it out. But like that stage is gigantic and fucking gorgeous. And like it's really well done. 2B's a fucking great character. She's a lot of fun to play as. I have not
think
gone
that,
through the story mode stuff with as many people as I wanted, but I like the way they've done it. The voice acting is still terrible because this is still Soul Calibur. But
Live as a windrammer as you fight.
there's a lot of really good stuff in there. I like that this is the Soul Calibur they might go out on because this one feels good as opposed to the last one. Like if there was like a best like revival of a series or something, I would put this on
Best
there. Like,
recovery.
hey, yeah, like
yeah, especially compared to
The,
five.
it
Five
wins the Evil Within 2 award of, oh wow,
Mostly
you saved this somehow.
yeah. I don't know if they'll actually save it because, like they said, if this doesn't do great financially, then Soul Calibur's fucked. But I
Safe
at
to
least
spiritually.
think that-
Every other fucking time.
yeah, if nothing else, if this is the end, then they can go out with some dignity as opposed to what would have happened after 4 or 5.
Yeah. At least with this one, they can say it did made a good game. Unlike
I really like it.
If 5 was the last one, it's like, wow, this series really died.
Yeah, that series really went fucking downhill and crashed.
Yeah.
But like, I really like it. I like a lot of the stuff they've done. I like a lot of the redesigns for the characters now that they're like younger or whatever. There's a good mix of old and new with some of them, especially Tira's design. I really like. I don't know. It's really good. I really liked it.
DLC.
Oh.
Yeah, I wish she was not DLC as well, but she's in
They
good
want-
company.
Day
Yeah.
1.
And in order to get her 2 before, you kind of have to pre-order the season pass or something, or do
I
you order
think-
just pre-order?
I think
the
you
game?
just have
No,
to
you
get
pre-order
season
it.
pass. I think she's
I
in the
think as long
season
as you got the
pass.
Season pass.
Okay, that's still pretty shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not great because she was like my favorite character from the 3 that they introduced. but,
Oh
you know.
really?
Yeah. No, go figure.
I'm gonna nitpick a little bit. I don't like how you can bring your own customized character into ranked.
So
Oh,
what?
yeah,
You
no,
don't
that's-
like the
That's
giant
so goddamn
cube?
You
annoying.
don't like fighting just a sphere?
You don't like
That's a
you don't
horrible
like
decision.
fighting the final boss of Okami?
Well, and my other one, I think they fixed it, but I hated the reversal, the non-metered reversal button.
Reverse edge or whatever.
Yeah, reverse edge.
didn't
Even
like it.
casually playing against friends, Jesus Christ, that thing.
I didn't
It's a
mind
guessing
it.
game like half the time if they don't know what they're doing.
I mean, yeah, but like also you could just not hit them to parry it. Like you don't have to just walk into it every time.
I
Like,
think
just
that's-
use a guard break, and then it doesn't work, and then you hit them and you do a lot of damage, and then you beat them up because they're bad at the game.
Basically, get good.
Yeah,
That's what he's saying to you.
that is what I'm saying. Yes, it's like stop hitting the glowing sword.
Hey, I win
Wouldn't
most of it
happen.
anyways, but even still, it's annoying just repeating that shit over and over and over.
Hello,
Even
I didn't
I'm not
mind
the
it.
one doing it.
I didn't mind it too much. I do think it is too it is too available. I feel like that should cost.
Yeah, that's
you,
what I'm
like,
saying. It
a
should be
quarter of
metered.
like if it cost you like a quarter or a half a meter, I would probably like that a lot more.
I'll probably say full.
I
Like,
think that's
wouldn't go that
intense.
far, but only because like you gain meters so slowly in that game. Like you gain meters so slowly, unless you use the reverse ledge like crazy. Like it's the fastest way to gain meters, so I guess that's why they. I don't know. Yeah, that is kind of a questionable design decision, but I still enjoy that, and I don't mind the reverse ledge thing that much, so I didn't hate it. Like I really like that game. I really like a lot of what they've done. I don't know if it hangs on the list, but I like it a hell of a lot more than I like Cross Tag.
I was gonna say Soul Calibur is better than Cross Edge, and I put a lot of time into it.
I think you're insane.
I even though I
I mean, yes, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, same.
what?
Well,
Oh, on base console as well. I think they look really. The graphics looks like really like smeared in Vaseline. If you don't have like a PS4 Pro or Xbox One X or PC, like it looks really like blurry on base
Really?
consoles.
I
Yeah.
haven't noticed.
Generally, whenever I use Vaseline when I'm playing,
Oh god.
You slap
Okay.
it, slap it over your eyes.
Why have you done this? No, I haven't noticed
Smash
that.
Bros. Or...
Like I've been playing Soul Calibur, and yeah, I don't know. I haven't noticed that.
I mean, I'm gonna have a bit of a hot take here.
You're gonna say that Smash isn't a fighting game?
No, well, I was gonna say that either Blaze Blue or Smash could go. Because
I still say Blaze Blue
while-
stays.
while I like
I have
Smash
my notes
Bros,
out right now for Blaze Blue.
while I like Smash Bros, it's just more Smash Bros, and that's fine. I like it. I just
Yeah,
don't
but
think
it's got
the
Joker
best.
in it.
Not yet.
You
Not
can't
yet.
say that
Not-
yet.
Yeah,
But it
not
will
yet.
happen.
Fuck
They
that, it's
could
about
cancel
Ridley.
the DLC. You don't know.
we'll get to that later.
I was actually
Ridley.
really happy with the new characters in this edition of Smash Bros. I think the Belmonts play great.
Yeah.
K. Rool's a lot of fun. Isabel seems cool.
I like
Ridley,
Isabel.
He's fine.
Did you say Ripley or Ridley?
Ridley.
Ripley,
Okay.
believe it or not, you know,
I thought you said
uh,
Ripley, and I was like, wait,
Ridley's,
what?
believe it or not.
That'd be a fun other DLC character. Just add
the
in.
Spirit Mode was
add
a
in
lot of
Ellen
fun.
Rid-
It had,
Ellen
it
Ripley.
had some cool shoutouts in it. I was even having fun with the dumb me characters.
Same here. I don't know why, but I did too.
I mean, for me, amongst these, my cuts would be either Soul Calibur or Under Night, and I think Under Night is arguably the greatest fighting game of all time. And the reason I would cut it is because it came out last year, and this year it's just the U.S. release.
Oh, well, I mean,
No, technically came out this year.
Hey, I'll just say this,
Yeah,
Grab.
it did technically come out.
Did you know all about all of those mechanics in Under Night when it was in Japanese? Like the one where if your grid bar actually passes the middle, you actually get it resets the rebounding and the OTG.
I did not. Oh right, yeah, it's got like the best goddamn tutorials. God, yeah.
Yeah. Mission
I'm
mode's
fine-
pretty good too and practical.
I'm fine with Soul Calibur getting cut. I just wanted to make an argument for it because that is a really, really good addition to the series, in my opinion.
I'm fine with Smash Bros getting it, but I know that's.
I'd rather get Soul Calibur get cut. I like Smash.
I could see either Soul or Smash going. I would
Whoop.
rather BlazBlue go because I can't stand.
I'm here with knives for BlazBlue.
I
have
get
so
that,
much
and that's
goddamn
that's
fun
why
playing
I'm
that
not
game.
making that argument because I know Grav will fight it tooth and nail, and he's more authoritative in the fighting game world.
I don't think Blaze Blue wins.
That said, Blaze Blue is shit.
I think either Under Night or Smash wins this.
I think Under Night wins.
I think Under Night
Yeah.
wins. I have more fun with it
I can
this
go
year.
with Under Night. Blaze Blue is my fighting game of the year, but those are two of probably my top 2 of all time right
And-
now.
You know what? Just even though we said that the thing doesn't matter, just for make me mad, we're just gonna do that.
I mean, that part doesn't even matter to me.
Yeah,
I'd
sure,
rather have
whatever.
Silver on Smash.
Under Night wins.
Number 2.
Oh, this is the only category that's getting numbered? Wow.
Negative
Wow.
99.
We're
What
just,
the
So it's
hell?
above 1.
TFP is editorializing the list.
that is not me.
Just because
I don't know
Naruto's
who.
booty.
That is anonymous skunk.
All right.
All
I
right,
just
move.
thought, just to say specifically why I like it so much, I think Blaze Blue has just an amazing combat system.
Yeah, we get it.
And,
Yeah,
and it brought together.
Most anticipated games of 2019.
I wouldn't even say
No,
that.
I'm glad that you enjoy that game, but it is the antithesis of what I find. Like, I don't like team-based fighters to begin with. Cross Tag Battle, I played because it had kanji. That's it.
And even then, he's not kanji.
And even then, it's a bad version of kanji. So
Yeah,
it's
Look,
like,
I'm with you on kanji. You're right about kanji.
So I didn't
like,
bother.
he's the reason I got that game, and then when I got it and paid extra money for kanji, I was then disappointed with the kanji.
Oh, you got late. Okay, because he was free for like a good while.
I just remember that I bought the season pass for more characters or whatever. I don't know if I actually paid explicitly for kanji. I don't remember how all that shook out because they did shenanigans.
Well, the game was $49.99. Then you can buy the $60.
Yeah.
Which came with everything.
I think I got the $60 version is what happened. But the point is that when I got my kanji, there was a fly in it.
Yeah, the only
Really
thing you
just
had was like
waiter
your
and
D
chef.
key, and that was it.
Yeah, no, like, that game rubbed me the wrong way immediately, and then also it was team-based, and then also the character I really liked sucked in that game. And it's just like, well, fantastic.
The best.
Most
I liked that I got to play
anticipated.
it with you guys, but man, fuck that game.
I like
And that's why it
that.
makes our list for one of the best.
I like.
I was finally saying my piece for like why I think it deserved to
Sorry,
be in the top 3, and
I
you guys
didn't-
just
I
cut
didn't
me
mean to
off and
comment
shit on
you.
it.
I didn't mean to commandeer your piece. I was actually trying to agree with you that I'm glad you enjoy that game. The reason I hate it so much is just that it is the antithesis of everything I like in a fighting game.
I thought it did team mechanics arguably the best I've ever seen in a fighting game, and I thought it brought multiple series together while preserving their character. That's basically where I'm on it.
Okay. I will admit I do like the dumb crossover nonsense that happens in the game.
I like
I just
that
don't like
if you.
playing the game.
I like that if you search my name on YouTube, you get to see me be really bad at Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle.
Yeah.
Alright.
You also get to see me be really bad at King of Fighters 14, which is an unrelated funny. Most anticipated game. Judge Eyes, which is... Oh.
Hold up, there's a mistake here.
Hmm?
There we go.
Okay.
Oh, whoops. Judge Eyes, Bloodstained still, Metal Wolf Chaos XD, Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
That's not... I don't know who...
Not an
Anonymous
win.
werewolf.
Goddamn Wolverine.
Or Wolverine.
Devil May Cry
Hold on, what
5.
okay, I just highlighted Metal Wolf Chaos. What
you're,
animal am I?
You're a Wolverine.
Okay, I was trying to unbold Resident Evil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was Skunk who bolded it.
Skunk.
I think
I
Skunk
see.
is Serve.
That would
Who
make
makes you say
sense.
That sounds about right.
Toho Luna Knights, Neo 2, Kingdom Hearts 3, Ace Combat 7, and Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. Is-
Devil May Cry 5 can go.
does anyone object to that?
Devil May
I'm
Cry
looking
5
forward to
can go.
that, but
I'm looking
I-
forward to it, but
not my
I'm
top
cautiously
two, so-
optimistic.
Let me go ahead and
Uh,
post some battle themes here, and people can make up their minds. Oh,
Yeah,
did you
actually,
hear-
yeah, you,
Take it
you
off,
can-
take it off, take
I
it
made my
off.
top 3 actually. Whoa, are
Did you
you,
hear V's battle theme, Rob?
What's that?
Did you
V's?
hear the battle
Yeah,
theme for
just-
V?
Oh, I haven't
No.
heard that
Oh
one.
wow. Let me.
Is it bad?
God, what's
Is
the
it-
name?
Can't be worse than Suicide
Crimson
Silence.
Something. Well, I'll have to look it up. You guys continue. I'll look this up on the side.
Oh, great.
Alright, Grand Blue.
So I don't know if we know enough about it yet, but I don't like gacha games, but I like the aesthetic of Grand Blue Fantasy, and it's an Arxis game, so I'm definitely looking forward to that.
As the resident Grand Blue Fantasy player here, I think I am hella excited for Versus. But I'm also even more excited for the Platinum game than this one. Also, some of the things that I've heard about it concerning that the game's being made for mobile players.
What?
There was a report that said like the game's being designed for mobile players, the game's being toned
Way
down.
too even consider that as a thing.
The game's being designed around the fact that mobile players don't play fighting games. That's the kind of stuff. So
Okay.
I'm just kind of afraid that the game's just gonna turn into.
You just don't want auto combos, do you?
I'm okay if there's one auto combo, but if it's like Dragon Ball Fighters or like BB Tag levels of simple,
Can I get rid of
Gotcha.
it?
So you're saying?
What
Go
was that?
ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, it seems like you're saying we should be cautiously optimistic rather than most anticipated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm excited for it because
I'm okay.
I'm excited for it because I'm a huge Grand Blue Fantasy fan. That's
Gotcha.
more for the license than the actual product.
Gotcha.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's fine with me.
I'm in the same boat as Grav. Like, I like the art style and everything too. Just that game is way early. Only thing I could take away from that is like it looks like it's a grounded fighter, and that's pretty much it.
Secondary question: what is Toho Luna Nights?
Which one is that
Oh,
exactly?
Grav streams that actually.
Yeah. So do you know the Jack Bros game?
okay. Okay, I know what that is now.
You guys are
I
making
remember it.
a Toho Metroidvania, and it was out early access.
Ooh.
And what little there was of it was a heck of fun.
Yeah, I watched Grav stream that. It looks really good. It's Toho. Yeah, Toho Metroidvania. by those
Tertiary
guys.
question:
Yes.
who is excited for Kingdom Hearts?
Okay, excited is the wrong word. I will
I
say,
am-
like when I hear the like chords of Simple and Clean, I still get like a chill up my back.
But what about
But that is-
Skrillex?
But that is a curse. Like I am excited for Kingdom Hearts 3 by default because I was infected at a young age and have not recovered.
I'm
Like-
excited. I'm excited for Kingdom Hearts 3 the same way. Like, we discovered this new disease, and at least a weird block inside your body. Let's cut this person open. To look like.
You're excited to put it on the most disappointing category?
The
I'm,
enzymes
I'm, no,
are here.
I'm, I'm,
hooray.
I'm excited to dissect the game for its lore.
I'm
Because-
excited to see how stupid it is because yeah, that
because
story is so
Kingdom
far.
Hearts. Here's the thing: Kingdom Hearts knows it's stupid, so it just goes off the deep end, and they play it so fucking straight. It's great. I love it.
The main villain is 13 versions of the same guy.
I know it's so good. It's so good. It's so dumb. And it's
Oh, so it's Blaze
good.
Blue, is what I'm hearing.
Basically,
I love it.
Kingdom Hearts has standards.
Yeah.
At least it's original.
Is Gact in Kingdom Hearts? Because that would be perfect.
I
Not
guess
yet.
you
Maybe.
guys want to keep it on here.
No, like I
No,
I would take it off.
No?
It can go. It can go. But
It can definitely go because there are things
Remember,
on
it's
here.
most
I'm
anticipated. It
legitimately-
doesn't have to be anything like.
There are things on here I'm legitimately excited about.
Yeah.
there are things I'm more excited for as far as most anticipated. I think Ace Combat 7 can probably go. I think I'm the only one.
A lot of
I
people
respect
like that.
Ace Combat games. They look neat. I like the strange. What is it? The
Strange Reel.
First.
Strange Reel.
Real, sorry.
I like
Wow,
the Strange
fake
but
Ace
I'm
Combat
not
fan
personally
serve.
involved with those.
Sorry. I sorry.
I should play more Ace Combat Zero. That is all.
I
Who's
fucking love-
who's our resident Neo expert?
That would be make me mad.
Mad.
So I'm super excited for Neo 2 because like,
It ha-
Neo
doesn't-
1. Uh huh.
I'm
What was
I'm
that?
probably gonna cut into your
Yeah.
spiel here.
Mhm.
Doesn't Neo 2 have a character creator?
Yes.
Ooh, that sounds
All right,
It's
that's
Neo-
sticking around at least for now.
It's Neo with a full character creation system and presumably improvements on the gameplay of the first game. And I already thought the first game was like Bloodborne but better. Like I like Neo better than I have liked any of the games From Software has put out in the Souls series. Like the combat to me feels way the fuck better. Just faster, more responsive. It feels more
That-
fair most of the time.
I'm going
Like,
to
I
agree.
am way into Neo 2.
I'm gonna agree on everything Make Me Mad just said. Like I'm some kind of like Takamichinoku talking to Zack Saber Jr. over here. Weird tiny Japanese hype man.
Like that, I really love Neo. The idea of a better Neo that also lets me create my own character instead of being stuck with William sounds like everything I could want in that game. Like, it sounds amazing. I cannot wait
Alright.
for that game.
Cool. What's Judge Eyes again?
That's
Judgment.
it is
Yakuza
the
Studios.
official dub name is Judgment. It is the
Why highlighting Resident Evil 2 there?
Well, I'm going to talk about Judge Eyes here for a second because it is because apparently my connection to Atlas has extended now that they've gotten bought by Sega to a connection to the Yakuza team, because in Judgment you play as a private detective in Kamurocho trying to stop a serial killer,
So good.
which is, I don't think you can make a game pointed more at me than that.
I'm super excited for this one. I only found out about it like last week. That it was
Yeah,
a thing.
I don't know anything about that, so I can't speak to it.
I've seen some of it already in Japanese.
I played
and
the
it's
demo. It's amazing.
Pretty good.
I'm really fucking excited.
Can't wait until the story ruins
like-
you, TFE.
Like the combat is good, like even
takes
more
some of the-
refined. It kind of blends the stance stuff from Zero and Kiwami 1 into Yakuza 6 and Kiwami
It
2.
has, I noticed playing it that it has some of like the environmental stuff you can do in Fist of the North Star.
Yeah, like it seems like they're
it takes a lot of little pieces from other Yakuza games and it kind of blends them together into a nice, delicious TFP flavor.
yes.
Ugh.
Yeah.
But-
Alright, no one should ever say that sentence again, but let's continue.
Anyway,
It's gonna
It-
be a thing.
it's
It's gonna be added to the lore.
like Grav had his knives out for Blaze Blue in the fighting game. I'm going to stab someone if we cut Judge Eyes because
No, I can see
Same.
that.
Same.
That, that game
I'm
seems good, and I'm glad to see the Yakuza team branching out into something that is less.
Well,
Well, slightly,
yeah.
I mean, it's
I-
still in Kamurocho. It's still like, but at
It's
least
kinda-
they're
Just wait till you
trying
actually play it.
slightly to get away from fucking Kiryu.
That's kind of like the one thing I was a little bit disappointed by Judge's Eye was that I thought it was when they said it was gonna be a new IP. I thought it was gonna be something completely different. I didn't think it was.
It
just gonna
isn't.
I mean it's a Yakuza spinoff.
I'm not upset about it. I'm just a little bit disappointed by it. I thought it was gonna.
I
be
would agree with
complete-
that.
I thought it was gonna be completely different, but again, more Yakuza.
But I'm also down for like side stories in the Yakuza world.
Don't
Yes.
worry about that.
But anyway,
You
I
guys
have
like, know the script or something? You keep making these comments.
Don't worry
It's
about
already
it.
out in Japan.
Okay.
yeah, it is out in Japan.
I've seen
Oh,
the
okay.
first
You
chapter.
could have seen.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Medal
have
of Chaos.
I have
think-
Resident Evil 2 highlighted here
Why?
because
Right.
someone defend Resident Evil 2.
I'm
Resident
pretty
Evil
excited
2 is
for it.
shit, but this looks like a good version of that game.
But it still
So
has the
I'll finally be
limited
able to play
inventory.
Resident Evil 2.
But it still has the limited inventory.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
take it off. Wait,
Sorry,
is the
they have
limited
to
inventory
play-
is the limited inventory an attaché case?
I think it's like RE7.
Oh, is it slots? Wait,
Well, I mean it's on the RE7
Seven.
engine.
I'm trying to remember that. Is
It's
it
just-
just like 9 squares?
Yeah,
Yeah.
7 is just a classic Resident Evil inventory.
Well, it's a classic Resident Evil
Slightly.
inventory, but some things
Equip.
take up 2 spaces, and you can like
Yeah, that's what I
Quick
was thinking
equip.
of.
There's some things that took up 2 spaces in old RE.
Yeah,
games, but
that's really a thing. I think the grenade launcher did, but
not the grenade launcher, but like the rocket launcher stuff.
Oh,
The
okay.
grenade launcher was like a regular. It kind of took up 2 slots because you would have the ammo for it, and then whatever was loaded into it. But usually, it'd be a good idea to keep 2 types of ammo around. But
yeah.
I'm pretty excited for RE2.
I am as well.
I am actually excited for a version of
I-
Resident Evil 2 that I would
I
actually be able to
like-
stand to play.
Well, also for me, I fucking love Resident Evil 2, but it's gonna be exciting to go into that and see like new surprises because they're changing some shit up, and I'm like, Mr. X is just gonna show up out of nowhere, and I'm not gonna
Oh,
expect
have you
that,
seen
and,
any of
like,
the videos showing that off? Just
like,
like stalking you through the whole fucking police
Yeah,
station?
fucking
Like
love
that seems
Like,
crazy.
the things I loved about Nemesis, but not like Nemesis as much as I did RE2. And
Yeah.
just like I'm really excited for what they're doing with it.
Like I could definitely see Resident Evil 2 staying on here just because I'm also excited for a potentially good Resident Evil game.
yeah,
but
and
also
people
they haven't
don't
made one of-
like Resident Evil 2.
Yeah,
I'm
like they haven't
excited
made
for
one of those
Resident
since
Evil
Revelations 2, so
2. So
And,
yeah.
and like just like the gore in that game. I don't know how many of us are. I don't think any of us are really like gore heads or anything like that.
not
Yeah.
really.
Get hard off of
No.
that.
I mean,
but like
I have gore
but,
in my
like-
head. If you
but,
like break it, then it would come
like
out.
a lot of the detail and stuff like that is more technically impressive than anything. I don't think I've seen a game that does a lot of what that game does. Like you can shoot like
Well, I mean,
certain
like,
things
since
off,
it's-
and like
Yeah,
they'll
the way
hang
they-
off and stuff like that. Like a lot of that stuff I saw, I was like,
I mean,
Yeah, the
since
way
it's like the
they're- the way
RE7 engine,
I
I
like
think
good
Yeah.
dynamic zombie destruction.
Yeah,
Like-
the way they're adapting sort of RE4 controls and sort of lessons learned from RE7 into this for RE2, but still dealing with zombies and having to make the zombies still a threat. I think it looks really cool.
honestly,
As long as it's not a
it-
hero.
It feels like it feels like a lot of it feels like Resident Evil 2, and it took a lot of the lessons that learned from 7, besides
Yeah.
one hero, and it took a lot of inspiration from like Dead Space, because that was something big in Dead Space was you have to like take off
Yeah,
certain
like-
limbs and stuff like that. So
I was gonna say it reminds me of like a fleshy version of shooting the robots in Vanquish and just watching the pieces fly off, or Binary
or
Domain.
yeah, I was
Just
about to say I
watching the
think
pieces
Binary
fly off
Domain's
and
a
it's just
better.
like- Well, both of those. I enjoyed just like laying into a robot and just watching like pieces of metal and stuff go flying through the air. And this is just like a zombie-based version of that, where it's like actually tactically kind of taking out parts of enemies or whatever.
yeah, and I heard that like this game is less about like choosing which enemy shooting to kill when you need to, and more just shooting to incapacitate. It's less like, which is it's always been kind of a staple RE2 thing, but it's more emphasized here. I feel that it's better just to like shoot somebody's legs off and just run away, just leave them alive. 'Cause
I don't know, I'm excited for what that game could be, which is Resident Evil 2 that I like. So I can see it staying on this list. I could see Metal Wolf Chaos going. Because
Yeah.
while I love
I
Metal
can see
Wolf
Metal Wolf
Chaos,
going as well.
It's
like it's going to be Metal Wolf Chaos maybe with some extra stuff.
Yeah.
Whoa, don't cut it just yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so here's my thing with Metal Wolf Chaos. I have been waiting to play this fucking game since at least 2006. and I think that's worth something.
You know, fair.
Okay.
There's
What
an
ab-
argument to be made there.
I mean,
I
people,
mean,
but
sure,
people
it's
have
probably
been asking-
not as good as I've made it out to be in my head,
Oh,
but holy shit, that game's got style. It's got voice acting.
It's boy
And I
does it
want
have voice acting.
to actually
The most.
play it. I want to actually play it so I can
You
say.
want it in your hands so you can be you
It's
can
like, I can die
believe
now, I have
in your
played
own
Metal Wolf
justice because you're the president of the United States.
Exactly. Richard!
And they've turned the White House into a fight house. How about that Bloodstained?
Yeah.
I'm excited
I'm
for
still
Bloodstained,
super excited
excited
for
for that.
Bloodstained.
but I wouldn't
But
say it's my
For
most
Bloodstained. But
At this point, I don't think it's my most anticipated.
It still kind of.
I
For me.
mean,
It's
I'm
not my
still
most
really-
anticipated, but if that game somehow didn't come out, I would be livid.
I like
Yeah,
that's kind of
about
the
where I
one
am.
thing about putting this because it won
Classic
last
Bloodstained.
year. Like,
Like it, Bloodstained is one of those things where it's like it is not the thing I'm most excited about, but it is constantly there in the back of my head. Is like, man, when that comes out, I'm gonna play the shit out of that game.
Right,
Like,
like the new,
I
the new
still
demo
really,
for Bloodstained
really
came
want
out last year, I think around E3, and I was impressed with it. So I am still, totally looking forward to Bloodstained. But it's been delayed so many times already that I can take it. As long as it comes out sometime, I'm ready for it.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that game. Still, just staring.
The last news for it was pretty okay. Maybe not the last one where they removed the Linux and Mac version, but the one before that where I think Way Forward is helping them.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
That's-
weird.
I mean,
That's
I like Way
probably gonna help a lot since it's been delayed so many times, or at least I hope so.
Yeah, the problem is there's more than 3 things on this list that I personally am really excited for. So
Yeah, I still have
this list is packed.
exactly 3 things on this list that I'm very excited for. I will say, if I had to cut one of the ones I like, it would be Toho at this point, because I'm probably a bit more excited for Bloodstained, and they're both the Metroidvanias.
That's kind of where I was gonna bring
Anyone,
up.
fight for that. Fight
I
against
mean,
that?
I really like the look of that Luna Knights game, and I really want those Jack Bros guys to keep making more games because they are
Yeah,
really
totally.
fucking stylish and good at it.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, like I could see that going off this list.
Judge Eyes is definitely staying.
Yeah, because I will
Yeah, I
cut
think
you.
So.
So is Neo.
Okay.
What?
Well,
For the majority of people, it seems like Resident Evil 2 will probably stay as well. I think.
I mean, I was gonna say fuck, RE2 would be my first to cut on this list.
Yeah, RE2 would be the one
like-
that I would cut.
Neo
If
2
I was cutting,
Me and Rob probably are gonna go for either Resident Evil 2. I'm not sure what make me mad. You were
Oh, I was gonna
good
say,
and
if I
bad
was-
things about it.
if I was cutting anything, it would be Metal Wolf Chaos here. But
Say,
that's-
I would say the same.
I agree.
I'm
Just
I
because
I would
I
cut
well-
Bloodstained before I cut Metal Wolf Chaos.
like
Bloodstained
like the
Is
ones
is it
the
just
ones
because
that
the
I would
anticipation for Bloodstained has died over time?
Well, no, it's just I know it's
Like-
gonna come out, and I know I'm gonna like it. So,
like
I don't know.
Mike to
That's
bring this
fine.
to 3. I think the ones to cut are Bloodstained and Resident Evil.
No.
I would
Bloodstained,
say
yes, Resident Evil.
Bloodstained and Metal Wolf for me.
Yeah.
That's
I,
what I would do.
I would feel pretty bad if like everything I wanted was cut.
Yeah, no, I
That's
get
why
that.
I'm
that's
like
the-
Bloodstained and Resident Evil, because
Since-
I
And Neo 2.
Since I am like the only person here who really,
Neo.
really fucking loves Neo, you can cut that if you want. I will just sit. here
No,
and be
don't,
mad
don't cut
about it.
Neo. It sounds really
I mean,
cool when you're talking about it.
Yeah,
I liked the first one. It was pretty good. I didn't know about the character creation thingy.
I mean, whatever. I don't have my knives out for this category. If you guys want to take out Bloodstained and Metal Wolf Chaos, that's fine. But
I would still cut
Metal
Resident
Wolf
Evil.
Chaos for that shit, man.
Like I think it. Like I
Like,
don't think
I-
Bloodstained lives,
Yeah,
and
you know
I
what?
feel
I
like
think the removed Bloodstain's alright, even though I really want it. It's just been
and also like I feel
can
like
see the argument for removing Bloodstained, but I would rather have Bloodstained than Metal Wolf. But that's me.
it will happen. So, all good.
the thing is, I would laugh super hard if it got delayed again, and it was just on this list until
Fuck.
like perpetuity.
Whatever.
I
I don't know.
That's-
Like I would have cut Judge Eyes personally, but that's me.
I will cut you.
Yeah, like I would have cut Judge Eyes super early.
I will
but,
cut
like, I
both
guess
of
this
you.
This is TFP's thing, so
I would not have cut Judge Eyes.
I-
My
I-
thing too. I love that shit.
I'm so
Okay,
fucking
fair
into
enough.
Judge Eyes.
The only one I would either
if
cut
this
is
is
either
if this is
Metal
my
Wolf, Neo 2. Those are the only two I. The only two
Like,
I have stakes in are Judge Eyes and Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, I think this might be my category to lose. You guys can cut Metal Wolf Chaos. That's fine.
Like I said, I'm okay with Neo going because I am again like I'm the guy who's talking about Neo. If more
I think,
people are
I
into,
think you made a really good case for it, though. So I think
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
My only thing with Metal Wolf Chaos is that I kind of know what that game's going to be, and
Same here.
Yeah.
unlike you, Grab,
It's not
I just don't-
exactly going to be anything.
I don't have the urge to play that game. It's just like
grab this.
I'm glad that it's coming out here, but people have played that game before.
Gotcha.
Like people can play that game if they really want it, so I'm not like super on.
You just have to, spend $200 and mod an Xbox.
Exactly. It's insane, but you can do it. Like I'm glad that it's coming out in a more reasonable form, but like I've seen that game the whole way through.
Fair enough.
I am not like super anticipating it just
Yeah.
because I already know exactly what it is.
Yeah, the other three are unknown quantity.
Yeah, like Resident Evil
Like,
2
we don't
might
know.
be great. It could
Well-
also be totally shit. I don't know.
I'm gonna laugh when Resident Evil 2
But the-
turns out terrible and we look back.
Well, I
on
think it's
this list
interesting
and
that someone
laugh.
has already
Listen.
declared Judge Eyes the winner here.
Yeah, I think that was TFP. Are we
That,
okay?
that was not me. That
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 was
was
Sir.
Surf.
Honestly, that's really not probably. Like, I would probably go more Resident Evil 2 for the winner of that.
You're
category. That's
crazy.
me. Because again, like that game might be super awesome.
But what
It
if
could
it's
also be
terrible? What if it's like Resident
if
Evil
Judge Eyes is
2?
What
Shit.
if Judge Eyes is terrible?
But I played the demo of that and it's
Oh,
not.
Doesn't mean shit though.
Did you understand what was happening?
Absolutely not.
John, our man from the future, what do you think about Judge Eyes?
I will say it's still a lot or too much like Yakuza, but I'm still excited for it.
Yeah.
No such
So,
thing
yeah,
as
I
too
was
much like
I was
Yakuza.
kind of thinking Yakuza.
I voted
Yeah.
for Judge Eyes to win most anticipated because
Is
I think there are more Yakuza fans here than there are Resident Evil fans.
it's probably
I still have
Probably.
never finished a Yakuza game.
Well, that's because
Oh.
you're a poser.
I keep getting to the end and then, or like even halfway through and just being like, eh.
just play it on easy like I do and just fucking burn through
It's
it.
not a difficulty thing. It's just like, oh, I gotta go do all these side stories. Now I gotta go
It'll
manage.
make it faster if you just one punch them.
Now I gotta go manage a hostess club. Man, fuck
Yeah.
You do though if you want cool shit, and I like cool shit.
Well, for most anticipated, I'm actually satisfied with this.
All right.
I know some of you aren't with the Resident Evil 2.
I mean, I would, I could go either way between Resident Evil 2 and Judge Eyes, and other people want to go with Judge Eyes, then that's
I
fine
would.
with me.
I'd prefer Resident Evil 2 to win that, but hey, whatever. I mean, I'd prefer Neo to win it, but I'm the only person, so whatever.
Here, we'll put
I'm good with whatever.
We'll put Resident Evil in a
No,
title.
that's not
Let's not
not
even
how
start.
this works.
It's runner-ups, equally
Alright.
anticipated.
All right, very small category
Alright.
because one of these has already won.
Game
Character.
title that sounds most likely to have a Disturbed soundtrack.
Oh wow!
Immortal Unchained, Agony, Overload, Grim Dawn, Sinner, Sacrifice for Redemption, Detroit Become Human, and Dragon Ball Fighters. Man, Dragon Ball Fighters just showing up.
Detroit.
Yeah, I kind of put that there once I saw this category. I was like, yeah, I remember the days of AMVs. I mean, we're still in the days of AMVs.
Oh, that's
but,
true. A and B's.
Oh man.
I mean, hey, you can scroll up and see Grav linking.
Next year we need a best terrible AMV category.
Oh, we can all
no.
go looking for them.
Oh no, I
It's not a
don't.
bad idea.
I don't like this
So,
plan.
yeah.
So
You would
yeah.
have like a have a
Just
top three
anything-
for this.
I mean, I'm just
I
gonna
mean,
say that
The category.
Sinner Sacrifice for Redemption is an absurd title.
Yeah.
But you
I-
said Immortal Unchained as well, and it fits disturbing.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, also.
Immortal Unchained was why this category was created, so I think that one
Fair enough.
sticks. Sinner Sacrifice for Redemption, I think, is a hilarious title, and I think that sticks.
I will say that's the winner. It's
What?
so. It's
I
such a
think
What?
I think Sinner
What?
probably wins.
Yeah.
What's a Disturbed song I would have heard?
Get up, get down with the sickness.
down with the sickness.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Oh,
Do it.
I did. Yeah.
I can't do it.
there's
All right,
so many
I have a clip.
Dragon Ball Z AMVs over
I'm
here.
gonna play the guy trying to do the Disturbed thing, and then he goes, "Wow."
Hey, that's where most people just stop playing the song in Rock Band.
Also, for the record, in the Discord, you'll notice the Devil May Cry theme I was talking about.
Ooh, I'll have to check that out.
Look at that
So,
motherfucker's face.
so I imagine Detroit and Dragon Ball.
Yes, just get rid of it.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure people just
I
put it in
could
there.
see Dragon Ball hanging in the top 3.
But that's not the title. Like,
Yeah, I know. It's not the title. Although I do associate Dragon Ball Z with Disturbed.
Oh, sorry.
so I
I
guess.
think there's like one of the movies had Disturbed on the soundtrack.
So
I'm
I
pretty sure for the English release.
like the question now becomes:
What?
does Agony, Overload, or
it's-
Grim Dawn
It's
sound most
it's,
likely?
It has to be Immortal, Agony, and then Sinner. It has to be.
It was the Lord.
Yeah.
All right.
But the winner is obviously.
That was a good group of games.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there were more than I expected.
That none of us played. I don't think any of us.
None of us played any of those, to my knowledge.
Well, except
Also,
for Dragon
I-
Ball Fighters.
I own Overload because I backed the Kickstarter.
Oh yeah,
but
I think I
haven't played
have.
it yet.
I think I have Overload because I think they were giving it away on Twitch.
All
So
right,
that's the
so
Descent
go back
like,
just a
right?
moment. Do we still want to stick with the character we'd most like to party with category, skip the way it is?
I only know one of them, and I don't
I-
care
Yeah,
for
I
shot.
can't really
Other
speak to those
recommendation?
characters. Apparently, you guys are pretty big on Cassandra. I just
She's
put,
awesome.
put Susie in there because she's a lot of fun. She's kind of like not even the straight man. She's kind of like the bully she's like Nelson Muntz that's forced to accompany like Bard and Millhouse and Ralph on a vacation or something.
I definitely understood that reference.
Yeah, I'd say Cassandra
She's
wins
got
that
an
category. As much as I like Muscular Chef, I'd say Cassandra definitely wins that category because you can have sexual relations with a goat. Room full of people and a goat, but the goat is involved. Like, there is no one who parties harder in the ancient Greek world, and the Greeks knew how to party.
Totally not my kind of party, but I think that's fitting with the category.
Stop talking about your goat.
It's not my goat. It's that one guy's goat, Alcibiades.
I don't know
Sorry,
what you
we're
did
gonna
with it.
spoilers real quick as I scroll through the list and see. Okay, we're making good time through this.
All right.
Best moment or sequence that I think Rob wanted to sneak out for.
Yeah, I mean, I'll stick around for everything besides basically Unavowed, I think.
Okay.
We got A Way Out,
The other two,
the
I
ending,
don't care that much.
the ending of A Way Out, and the hospital escape from A Way Out. We've got Yakuza 6, Yamato 2 and the Baby Football. We got Where the Water Tastes Like Wine meeting Direwolf. Chapter 2 and the final battle of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Finale and Yellow of Gree. Gauntlet and Reveal of Unavowed. The Lab in Time Spin... I tried to make that Time Splitters for some reason. Time Spinner.
If only.
That is a very different game.
Very different.
Bandersnatch, which is that Black Mirror thing.
Yeah.
Quotes, fuck yeah. And Yakuza Kiwami 2, Osaka Castle.
Alright, I'm going to start this off by saying we can get rid of the Bandersnatch thing because A, that's not really much of a game as much as I wanted it to be. But I will say that moment is really good because it involves you essentially driving the main character crazy, making him realize he's in a Netflix show. And then when someone asks, like, hey, if you were in a Netflix show, wouldn't there be more action in the Netflix show? And there's an option of yes or fuck yeah. And if you pick fuck yeah, you get into a kung fu fight with a therapist. Like, busts out a pair of fucking, like, retractable batons, and you just get into a fight with the therapist right there in the office. And if you beat her, your dad runs in and just starts he's like the fucking tyrant. He just runs in and chokes you. And you get to fight
That's
your dad.
amazing.
That's...
It's pretty good, but it is not much of a game. Like, it is a TV show that has alternate paths you go back to. It is not as much of a choose-your-own adventure as it was advertised to be.
Oh.
It is a really good moment, though.
Do we want to like cut the ones that are doubles down to a singular one?
I was gonna say, for A Way Out, that's harder. I think there's definitely one better moment in A Way Out. Because I added several things on here. For Gree, I think you can take out the yellow bit, even though it is like fucking gorgeous looking. The finale is what I would go with on that. For Unavowed, that's also harder. Because I really like both of those moments. I think the reveal is probably slightly better, but, like, I would probably argue for both of those fairly. I don't know. Yeah, they're both good. I'd like to talk about both, but, well, because since Rob wants to duck out for those, I'll save those for later. Or should we get those out of the way up front so that we can call you back and then you're just here for the rest of the discussion? I'm not sure I'm not sure which way is the way to go about that.
Maybe later, and I can just duck out for it in case stuff comes back up later. Okay.
For Smash Brothers, I would cut the Chapter 2 thing. I mostly just like the final battle bit.
That's fair.
A Way Out. Yeah, I said the finale would be the one, so I'd get rid of the hospital escape. Well, those are both damn good, though.
They
Damn
are.
it.
I think the finale edges out the hospital escape because, like, the hospital escape is really good because it uses the co-op.
The camera cuts are so strong.
Yeah,
the way it's zooming in and out of like hospital.
It is basically
the next character.
It's basically a co-op one-shot, like single shot take of like an action scene, and you're just
going back and forth between characters in the same building. And the camera is not cutting; it is just going through going through windows and doors, and then around a corner, and the next character and the other character is doing something. And when their scene is up, it like goes through another window, and you will see the other character like also doing their thing. And it is just this giant like police chase and escape and fight scene through the hospital with both these characters, and the camera just following one and cutting or like going to the other and snaking its way through vents to get to the other character. It's really
cool.
But if we're gonna go ahead and get into this, then the finale of A Way Out
is amazing.
It is one of the best moments I've had in a video game, like, ever. The finale is so good.
Damn it!
So, how do you want to set, like, this up? I think I'm going to let you take it.
Okay.
I will interject where I feel necessary, but I'll let you...
So, most of A Way Out is, like, vaguely in medias res, because you're the two convicts, like, on a plane coming back from somewhere. And so you play through most of the game, and it'll occasionally cut back to them in the plane, and they're talking about, like, oh, I hope my wife still loves me even though I was in jail. And then the other guy's like, you should write her a letter, and that sort of stuff.
They're kind of talking about the adventure they've had that led them to this plane ride.
Yes.
And when they talk about, like, oh, the prison, it's like cut back to the prison, do the whole escape chapter.
Yeah.
And eventually the idea is you will catch up to this plane ride and find out what all has happened to them.
And you do. And so the plane lands, and the cops are all there because they fucking escaped from prison, and the cops landed, and they're holding everybody up at gunpoint.
Yeah, the cops are at the airport, and the pilot who got you there
Is a
like,
cop.
Very, very obviously, like, nods to the cops, like, hey, good work, guys. And it's like, well, fuck. We got double-crossed by the pilot.
We got double-crossed by the pilot, and then the chief of police walks up to one of the playable characters.
Vincent.
Vincent, who's the one that doesn't have the crazy nose, and goes, "Good job, Captain," or
fucking
whatever,
gives you
and
your
gives
gun
him
and
a gun and
badge.
a badge because one of the playable characters has been a cop this entire time.
You were undercover. The whole escape was just a fucking ruse to get this guy to take you to the, like, fucking guy that you were actually trying to get. And now that that's done, your undercover job is over. You've recovered the thing you were after. Time for other player character to go the fuck back to jail.
And the other player character is not really psyched about that, so it becomes this like 30 to 45 minute versus mode match of like first
Like,
the there's
you,
the
okay,
boat.
For perspective here, I was the cop.
Yes.
TSP was the criminal. He fucking took my gun, put it to my head, used me as a hostage to get away from the cops. I tried to overpower him in the car and take the gun away. We end up crashing off a bridge. He gets away on a speedboat. The fucking pilot from before, who's my partner, comes up in a fucking police helicopter. I jump on. I'm chasing him in this helicopter. He's on a speedboat. I'm trying to shoot the engine out. Fucking boat crashes. There's this giant fucking explosion. He escapes into like an oil, like, where the fuck did we go? Was it
It's
like
like
an
a-
oil refinery?
it's like
Where
a-
the fuck was that place?
This is like a factory.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was this giant fucking thing. He escapes into there. I go after him with my partner. I'll let you
I
take back over.
steal a gun from his partner, and then there's like this. It's like a cat and mouse, like 2-Fort-esque thing, where like there are two sides of the factory map, and you have to shoot the other guy.
Okay, but I just want to point out the lead up to the actual versus, because all this other stuff, it's been like, oh, you're trying to apprehend him. He's on, like, you're both kind of unarmed. Like, all this stuff is just, like, kind of indirect versus, almost.
Yes,
But when you get there, he takes a gun, you've got a gun, and you, like, confront each other through this, like, bulletproof fucking window in the factory, and are yelling back and forth, just having an argument about, like, the fact that, hey, I was an undercover cop the whole time. He's super unhappy about that. And, like, he tries to shoot me through the glass, and it just, like, it's bulletproof, so the bullets don't go through. And then the objective pops up of just, like, hey, take out the other player, and health bars pop up on each
Yeah.
of the screens. And then it's just split-screen fucking versus match. In this factory, you both got guns, fucking go.
but then after that, you
so, I wanna
take
point out
out.
this is a... Mhm.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, this is a 3-round. This is a best of 3,
Yeah.
essentially.
And
Because it's like the factory floor, and then you go up to the second, like, this upper railings where there's steam vents, and if you shoot those, it blasts together out of steam and obscures their vision. There's all kinds of shit. And then you go out on the fucking
roof,
rooftop.
and you ditch the
go out
guns.
the window, you go out the window, have a fight there with the guns, and then that fight ends with you two throwing each other off the roof, and you lose the guns.
And so then you have like a stealth fight on the roof. So like you're trying to finagle your way around like the little roof air conditioning units and the little weird roof and skylight so you can get behind the other guy and stealth them.
That's actually mixed in with the last gun part. We both had our guns for that sequence.
Oh, I thought...
You
okay.
No, you just ran up on me like
Yeah.
twice in a row and whipped my ass before I could do anything. I don't. Did you even realize you had your gun?
I don't think so.
I was trying to shoot you, and
I
you,
was-
like every time I turned around, you were just on me. So yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
The guns get lost. You go off the side of the fucking building.
And you have to like mash to try and
Like,
get the gun
there's like a quick
first.
time event like fight where it's like you are punching and kicking each other, and it is like as you are punching someone, they are having a flashback of their family. Like you are punching them so hard they're having flashbacks to a romantic dinner they had with their wife.
So that's
It's-
something that happens in Tekken, in the third move of Tekken.
But good,
Kinda.
though.
But like you're doing all this shit, and then it finally ends with like both of you like barely able to stand, and you have to mash the buttons because one of the guns landed on the other side of the roof, and it's like just like the race for the gun.
It's
to
like
grab
the
it and
microwave
shoot the player.
hallway, but
Yeah, and you just mash, and whoever had more HP from all the preceding versus fights has an advantage. So it's like all those versus fights do matter.
so Make You Mad got fucked.
Yeah, because I won the first 2 parts of that, but then lost hard in the last one, and lost like all my fucking health. So I had 0 chance of beating TFP in that.
And then I killed him.
And then he fucking shot me.
That was rude.
Fucking took the letter that I wrote to my wife back to my family and just left it on the doorstep. Had a sad scene of my family attending the fucking funeral because TFP murdered me. I was just doing my job, man.
Yeah,
Or the
but
TFP didn't turn out to be the cop.
It is weird, actually.
it is weird, but it was funny.
It was.
I mean,
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
It
Oh
was,
wait,
I
Co-op
believe...
game.
I believe when Pat and Wooly played it, they described it as a 6-hour build-up to a fighting game,
basically.
which isn't
Like, here's why they're
inaccurate.
fighting.
It's just like, oh, it's such a good thing of just like you spent the whole game doing a co-op thing and doing all this stuff, and like there's all these dumb like little competition mini games of like, oh, play darts or
Play Connect
horseshoes,
4.
or play this fucking bad arcade game or Connect 4 or arm wrestling, so you can get an early gauge of who's better at mashing. Like, there's just all this shit through the game of you, like, having these little competition things against each other and shit-talking each other. And then at the very end, it's like, no, now actually fucking kill the other guy. It's really good.
A Way Out is
I
really
would say
good.
that is my winner for this category, hands down.
And I would say if anyone wants to play it, I would be down. There's a guest pass thing,
Only one person has to own the game for 2 people
Yeah.
to play through it.
and
Oh.
since I have the game, I could run people through it if they wanted it. Yeah. Anyway,
Okay, I talked for a while. Does anybody want to talk about Yakuza? Because my face hurts.
I will talk about Yakuza. I think Baby Football is hilarious
Yeah.
because like the gang, like the fucking Omi Alliance is trying to get the baby that is supposedly and then actually Haruka's baby,
Yeah.
and it involves like fucking beat Takashi. Like they throw the baby to beat Takashi, and then he just fucking underhand flings the baby.
Like, I've seen that cutscene, and everyone else, when they were making the pass to the baby, there was a clear open receiver. Beat Takashi does a Hail Mary with a baby.
Yeah.
He does.
He
Yes, he
fucking
does.
chucks it for the end zone, and it's just like, hey, it's up to you to get there and catch this baby. Like, it's up to you, guy on the sidelines. You need to run and get this, because I know where I'm throwing it. Somebody needs to be there at the end of this. Everyone else had no. He's just like, nah, fuck this. This baby's going where it's going.
And it's also extra hilarious because the guy who catches it after that is the father of the baby.
Yep.
That's hilarious.
It is.
Yamato 2, I think, is probably the better moment because
That was more like a Metal Gear as
Yeah.
That was the typical in Yakuza. Here's all
The-
this crazy.
that was the
shit.
that was the end of Yakuza. Here's how we're escalating this. Of
There's
oops,
several
Japan is
protocols.
like trying to rebuild their navy super hard.
Oh, that's so crazy.
And it was like, here's how we're taking this from like just a regular crime story to, oh, this has like national repercussions.
There's no political.
Yeah. So I think of the Yakuza ones, I think Yamato 2
I agree.
sticks
There's
around.
just a
It,
dramatic escalation.
yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if it like sticks around over a lot of things. Like I don't know if it makes the final 3, but I think that's the Yakuza one that I think holds on.
I would say the Smash Brothers final battle thing can probably go, and there's a very particular moment I want to talk about in that, because it's at the end of the World of Light mode. It is specifically after you've kind of like freed all the other characters and you're coming up on like the real final battle against the 2 big bads. And it is after you free specifically Master and Crazy Hand from their control, and you get a battle that is you controlling Master Hand against the entire cast of the game. Like, you are fighting, like, essentially, like, the Polygon team equivalent, but it is you as Master Hand with all of his attacks, just taking on the entire cast.
That sounds fun.
That's
It's
pretty good, yeah.
fucking awesome.
It's really good.
Okay. Like,
should-
I
Now
wish
you
it
have
didn't
to
take
play.
100 hours to get there.
Yeah, no, it's a super long story mode, which I enjoyed every fucking second of it. I think it's great, but like
Eh,
that one bit of controlling Master Hand against the whole roster, fucking
That's-
however many characters, just take them all out.
that sounds
Because now you're the boss, you got all these fucking moves, do it.
that sounds pretty cool.
It's really good.
I guess I should probably
Yeah.
talk about mine because I'm sure it's going to get cut. So Time Spanner is an excellent Metroidvania. The plot, at first, I wasn't so huge on it. It's basically, oh, revenge. My clan was destroyed by the Empire. Now I got to kill all the Empires. But it gets a lot more in depth. And basically, at one point later in the game, you're in this lab of the Empire. And it turns out that Empire has been propped up by demons over the years, but their top researcher has also been like doing experiments on the demons to like kind of so that instead of having to rely on them, they'll use their own like weird mutated science demons. And it's kind of like a trope thing, but you know, you walk on into this eerie lab and the lights are on and things are okay, but in order to progress, you need to shut off the electricity, and that's when all the creatures break out. And it's never been done before, but I thought it was kind of unusual for a Metroidvania, and it was a pretty fun moment.
Yeah, I wish like. There are so many Metroidvanias out these days that I miss them, and like Time Spinner is one of those I just didn't know about until like right at the end of the year. I wish I'd heard about that sooner so that I could have played it.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my, well, I mean, it's on my very high on my games of the year list, but like I wouldn't necessarily say like any one moment in that game is really necessarily like the best moment.
Yeah.
I will say, just real quick before we, I think of the Yakuza moments, I think the Yamato 2 one is the one that sticks.
Okay.
Like Osaka Castle.
I put the Osaka Castle one there just because I thought it was like you see Kiryu just running toward in like this fucking forest clearing, and then just out of nowhere shit starts shaking. No wait, there's a pagoda, and then the pagoda splits in half, and then from the fucking ground, a fucking golden one with fucking neon lights all over the place just starts shining all over. It was like
I'm not denying it's good.
I understand it's gonna get cut, but I wanted to highlight it because I just thought it was.
It and Yamato 2 sound very similar in terms of here's this thing that is happening, now we're gonna take a hard fucking left.
Well,
Like literally the same thing of just like a dramatic reveal of this thing that should not be there. In terms of giant golden castle and like fucking battleship.
It's just how did they like the amount of 2 I can see you being able to afford that. How the fuck do you afford the fucking the golden castle, the mechanism to have a fucking
actually
castle split in half and then have another? Why would you need that?
That does sound kind of hilarious.
Like out of everything you do, why? Why would you need?
Don't you also end up fighting tigers in that castle?
You fight
Isn't that a
wolves.
thing? Yes.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, that castle sounds fucking like I would honestly probably rather that castle than the Yamato 2, just because the Yamato 2 makes sense in a narrative way. The castle is fucking nonsense.
It already happened in the regular Yakuza game, so I go rather go with the Yamato 2.
Yeah, I guess the Yamato 2 is a moment.
The Yamato 2 had
That's a
like,
new moment.
Actual,
Yeah.
The Yamato 2 had actual like plot, like
Yeah, like there was a reason for it. It had plot significance.
yeah. The castle was just like what the fuck?
Yaku-
It was like a
Yakuza
random
is what the fuck.
game.
Yakuza 2's plot did not suddenly become where did the embezzling scheme happen that built this castle.
all that money that
Although,
blew
I would
off
also
Millennium Tower.
Where all that money from Kamurocho Hills went.
Yep.
That's pretty much it for me. I can't speak to any these other games.
I guess I'll go ahead and talk about where the water tastes like wine because that's the third one on the list here.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if this one makes it, but I think
Probably
me and
not,
Make
but
Me
it is a
Mad
really
both
good
really
moment.
like it. Yeah.
like,
And
it's
also, this is
really
the
just-
opening.
It's the opening of the game. It's before you even get control of anything whatsoever. But it's like you're kind of just like a vagrant, and you know you take this because you're more aware of the time period.
You're like a
Like,
vagrant
I'm still not
in-
exactly sure where it's happening.
Well, it happens in like Maine. You're like a vagrant in Maine.
Yeah, where I get, but when?
I think I looked it up afterwards, and it is apparently like Depression era,
Okay.
like late 30s ish.
It's kind of what I'd assumed, but I didn't know exactly, so I didn't want to speculate.
And you're just like a vagrant, and you're in this poker game with some guy, and like
It's like a poker game with a bunch of people.
Yeah,
At first.
at
I
first.
actually replayed the opening a little while ago.
and
Like,
then
it's like you're yeah.
like it gets down to just you and the direwolf. Or,
Except you don't actually know him yet.
yeah, you don't
'Cause
know
he's
who it
just in
is.
shadow the whole
yeah,
game.
he's just
It's like it's this dude at a poker table with shadows over his face playing cards across from you who's really fucking good at poker.
yeah. And then you look down at your hand, and you're like, all right, I got this.
Like,
Because-
it's literally the perfect hand. It's like a straight flush, all spades. Like, it's an unbeatable fucking poker hand.
And you're like, all right, I got this. And then you go all in, and then the other guy calls it, and then you show your hand, and it's all tarot cards.
Like, it's this thing of, like, you have this unbeatable hand, and he's like, alright, I'm gonna put up everything I've got. And you go, well, shit, I don't have enough money to cover that. And he goes, oh, just give me your word. That's good enough. And fucking has you cut your hand and pour blood onto the pile of cash in the middle of this poker game. And it's like, there, we got a deal. You'll do whatever I want if I win. And it's like, whatever, I've got this unbeatable hand. So you fucking, like, you can double check before you agree. Like, check your hand. Like, yeah, no, these cards are unbeatable. And then you, as soon as you agree, he's like, all right, show your cards. And he turns his hand around, and he's got the hand you just had. Like, he's got your cards. And when you look at your cards, it's just a fucking hand of tarot cards. And then he goes, oh, that's a really good hand, but it's for the wrong game. And it's just like, fuck. And then he strikes a match, and it's just a fucking dude in a business suit, but from the neck up, he's this giant fucking wolf. Who is very clearly the fucking devil.
And it only
And then
gets
it
a
just
little...
leads into you being in fucking indentured servitude to the devil because of this poker game.
And you're a weird skeleton hobo, and you walk around the country, and you pick up stories, because the devil wants to hear stories.
Like, the whole fucking thing of just, like, it's this weird, like, Twilight Zone-esque thing of mysterious poker game. Like, specifically for me, it's the moment of, like, he has your hand of cards, and then when you check, you just have fucking tarot cards. It's such a blatant cheat. It's not like, oh, the devil, like, subtly cheated you out of something. It's like, no, you're fucked. You have never been more fucked. He's not even tried to hide the fact that he just cheated the shit out of you. Like, you're done. You're fucking holding tarot cards in your hand. You're fucked. This is over. And then him having the wolf head is just cherry on top. Like, it's just a really strong introduction of that character. And he's voiced by Sting.
Yes. Not the wrestler, the musician.
Yeah.
No, I know.
See, they would have gone for it before you said that.
I
If you just
know.
told them it was the wrestler.
But
But no, I don't think that moment hangs, but it is really strong. And I really should have done this a different way because I've really got to use the bathroom, and the last ones to talk about are all ones that only I've played.
yeah.
Damn it.
Do you want to just take a real quick break?
Yeah, sure, because I gotta hit the bathroom and I gotta talk about 3 of these in a fucking row, so... Well, actually, I'll talk about Grief first, because Rob's gonna bow out right after for the unavowed stuff.
Sure.
So then he can just bow out for the unavowed, I'll go take my break, and then we come back.
Okay.
Okay, so Gree is one of those things where it's like, I'm the only one who's played it, I'm pretty sure. I really, really, really enjoy it. It's fucking beautiful. But, like, it's one of those things that's really open to interpretation, and it's, like, my particular interpretation of the story has a lot to do with why I like the finale so much. But it's very... A few things are certain in that game, and one of them is that someone the main character loves has died. And that is the main driving point of the game, is them trying to get past their own personal, like, grief and despair at the fact that this person is now dead. Like, the statue, there's a recurring statue of this woman that is the character who has died. And at the start of the game, the character is, like, singing to the statue and then loses her voice. And the statue crumbles and falls apart. And throughout the game, you're finding pieces of the statue in, like, various states of disrepair. And every time you find it, you're getting, like, new abilities, and the world is getting, like, new things added to it. And it's kind of this whole thing leading up to eventually you're going to find the whole statue. And then that will kind of be, like, the end. Except that when you actually find the whole statue in the lower area, like, your main character still is not like... The loss of the ability to sing is not treated as like a magical impairment. It is that your character literally can't find the will to do it. Like, something is mentally stopping them in that they just don't want to. They can't. They can't bring themselves to do it. So when you find the whole statue and you fail to, like, you find it, you try to sing, you hold down the button, and it just doesn't work. And then it just fucking, like, this whole thing that's been chasing you through the whole game, this shadowy monster, appears and rips the statue apart and chases you up through this whole area. It's this whole long chase sequence, but when you get to the finale of the game, you get to an area and that shadowy thing comes back for like one last go. And throughout the game, like, first it was a bird, then it was an eel. And when you find it this time, the eel is like headless, because it's the whole thing. In the last encounter, the eel's head blew up. This time, it's not looking so hot. It's just this weird shadowy inky tube. Then your, like, a giant shadowy version of your character's head comes out of the stump, and then just, like, shrieks, and it basically destroys the entire, like, basically the whole fucking world. Everything just turns into a white field, and then it literally swallows you.
Great.
And you are just in this giant, endless ocean of, like, black, that as you were swimming up through it, you were finding, like, these little pulverized bits of the statue from before. Because this thing just swallowed it whole, essentially. And that's why you haven't been able to find the statue since that moment, the chase before, is that this thing has eaten it. And you get up out of this, like, ocean and find the tomb of the character. And it's this whole thing of, like, singing at the tomb and then going up and finding more pieces of the statue, and eventually finding a way to basically reconnect all of the pieces of the statue together, and actually having the character able to sing, bring the statue together as this weird shadowy thing is trying to swallow you again. And it does actually manage to completely cover the character and the statue and basically swallow them whole, at which point the statue actually finally starts answering back and starts singing itself, that blows the whole fucking thing to pieces and gets your character, like, you know, kind of back to full strength. It's, I don't know, it's really, really fucking cool. And it just goes through this whole montage, which is one of my favorite things in games, period. I really liked it in Okami, and I like it in everything else that happened in, of just showing the whole world getting put back together. Like, in Okami, it was whenever you purified an area, and you just had, like, the waves of light crossing the land, and all the flowers and stuff would grow back. It's a similar thing to that at the end of Gree, where it's just the whole world you've been through the whole time, getting rebuilt element by element, and just, it's fucking amazing looking. It's a really strong ending to that game. I think it can probably go here. Like, and by go here, I mean you can probably cut it.
Yeah.
Because, again, I'm the only one who's played it, and it's up to a lot of interpretation stuff. There's more to that game, in my opinion, than just, like, the typical grief stuff, but I really like the way it goes.
Makes
and
sense.
now I'm going to hit the bathroom, and then I guess we'll talk about Unavowed.
Yep.
Alright.
Alright, I'll be right back.
Let me just, real quick, just be like, yo. BRB.
Alright.
We're taking a break.
Okay, good.
Because MakeMad has to use the bathroom. And we've talked for like 2 hours. This is a
Yeah,
normal...
you guys are on the you guys are on the way out for quite a bit.
To be fair, it's a really good moment.
I know. I think I'm actually gonna go out and get it.
It does sound really, really cool.
I do.
Damn.
Although,
Didn't expect to end it that way.
Yeah, ironically, because you told me that, I kind of want to play it, though. So I'm like, oh, that's, now I know that, but I knew that couldn't happen, so.
Hey, even knowing, just seeing it's still pretty good.
It's also just like mechanically fun. Like,
How long is that game?
it
Did you
took me to make Mad about 6 hours.
6 hours?
Yeah,
Cool.
like
So
2
then-
sittings. And yeah, there's that guest pass thing, so like, if anyone wants to play it but doesn't want to buy it, you can download it and I can run you through it.
That's.
I don't know. I kind of want to experience it with somebody.
Who hasn't?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then one of you should buy it and play it with the other one, and then stream that shit also.
Hey,
I want to see Rob and Serve run through that game together.
Yeah. It'd be like Resident Evil 6.
See, this is the only problem is that like, man, I wish that I could have seen them play it when they didn't know how it's gonna end.
Yeah.
Because that moment of it turning
Well,
into
honestly,
a fucking versus mode.
which character goes which way, so I don't know who you said which.
Well,
so
yeah.
that I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, but just the idea of knowing that it's gonna turn into a versus
that
game
it's
at all
going
at the end
through.
is like, because man, that moment for me in TFT was fucking great when the health bars just appeared. It's just like, oh,
I
it's fucking
think we
on.
started laughing.
We just cackled. It
Yeah.
was great. Because, man, just like the whole game, you've been building up this whole like competitive friendship, and then at the end, it's like, nah.
Nah,
It's
fuck
on.
you.
It's murder time.
Oh, it's so good.
Also, I think I'm
That-
going to real
that game
quickly run to
wasn't,
the bathroom.
Indie game, right?
Oh,
It was published by EA.
Published.
But,
It was published by EA, but it was one of those.
it was made by the guy who made Brothers.
yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know what the team size or anything was.
I think it seems fairly.
that
small,
Starbreeze?
Not a huge. Not a huge company, I think. I was going to suggest that if we think this is gonna run longer than like another hour, maybe fill this up tomorrow.
Yeah, I could see us because we've still got quite a few
Because we got
categories
quite a
left
bit
here.
left.
We're gonna be on top 10 game of the year for a long time.
I
I
don't
could-
know.
If
I
we
don't
want
know
to
if
break
we
into
are.
2 parts, I'm down.
But
I was
just-
gonna say
don't-
I could see us going through to like maybe middle or end of next page and then picking it back up later.
Yeah, I kind of want to do that because last year we did like a one setting.
We did
that was
like 5 hours, yeah. it was-
6 hours, and that's just too much. I just can't.
This year seems like it's gonna be a lot longer if it were to sit in
Somehow
one spot.
seems like it's going to be the same length. So
Good lord, I can't
I'd
believe it
rather
turned out to be
split
that
it up.
long.
I'd rather.
Well,
split
yeah,
it
the
up because
next-
I'm just sitting here.
We
with
can get through the
headphones
next
on.
categories, I think, pretty quickly. In fact, I'll go ahead and take out one of these unavowed things just because I know which one I actually want to gun for.
Okay.
You're the only one who played it, right?
Yeah,
as of
Okay,
right-
so
yeah, I
that's
mean,
fine.
I've started playing it, but
like
I'm
honestly, just to
far.
like, I really, really like the moment in unavowed that I'm talking about, but I might consider just cutting it because I want to go like a way out is the one I want to fight for.
I think your
Okay.
way out's definitely gonna win no matter what.
Like a way out is the one I
It
want to
sounds
fight
like
for
a
no matter
way out
what.
is probably gonna win this. I feel.
As much as I like the moment in unavowed, I almost want to cut it both to avoid the like Rob having to go while I talk about it, and also because like I already know which one I've got my money behind.
All right. I mean, if you
I'll
Cut Time Spinner. I'm actually surprised that's still on there.
Yeah, I think we should cut Time Spinner just to.
but I don't want to like have Time Spinner cut without me even talking about unavowed.
Oh yeah.
I was actually going to cut unavowed so that we didn't have to have the be right back like the break where Rob has
Oh.
to avoid spoilers. Like I am willing to leave unavowed off here just to avoid that whole mess
in the interest of time,
in the interest of time
sure.
and not having Rob be exiled from the room temporarily while we talk about a game he is currently playing.
No one
I mean,
else
it
goes.
doesn't. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't bother me necessarily that that's happening. But if you're okay with it, just to
And I will
on.
again. I really fucking like that moment in Unavowed, but it is kind of like Grease, where it can be more like somewhat of a personal thing. I think it's a really fucking awesome reveal that happens in that game,
okay.
but
I mean,
I'm
I'm
willing
ex-
to leave it off here.
I'm excited to get through that game. I like a lot of the setup and
That
like,
said, it is also going to be really hard to talk about best narrative without
oh
mentioning
yeah,
it.
I know. So maybe I'll have my break in best narrative.
Yeah, I think
I'm
that's
probably
better.
gonna do the
I think
same.
it's a better thing.
I don't think I played any of those
Check
except for
out.
Yakuza 6.
Yeah,
I think it's
Yakuza
better
6 is
that
the only
way.
one. That's the only one I have that I would have anything to say about, but I can't really speak to it because it's.
So
the
I'd
only
go
one-
ahead
it's
and
literally
move
the only
Time
one.
Spinner up.
Oh, all right, whatever.
Because yeah, Unavowed has a lot of really good moments in it. I think that's probably my favorite one from it, but I think it would be a better fit to just talk about it in narrative. Honestly, it probably would have better fit to do Gree there as well, because it is a kind of thing that encapsulates the whole game.
Shh, I'm almost done.
Well, luckily, I didn't put
it's-
Gree under best narrative, so you're
It's
good.
Gree.
Gree, I believe, is the way to go, because I
Progress.
think, because I think someone pointed out that like the whole game is color themed, and Gree in French means gray, which I think is probably the way that's supposed to be read. I don't know. I've never heard
Um,
anyone.
Didn't it start off that way too in the game?
Huh?
You people,
Well, it's all white and black and gray. Yeah,
you people
Yeah.
disregarded my BRB.
we did. I decided to go ahead and cut the unavowed reveal because we're going to talk about it in best narrative anyways, and having 2 breaks for Rob to avoid getting spoiled on it would be ridiculous.
Yeah,
And also because A Way Out is the one I would fight for in that category anyways.
makes sense. And that probably wins this, right?
I was going to say that looks like a good
That
list to
seems
me.
like-
I would hope
It
so. You
depends
guys
on
talked that for a
people wanna do.
long ass time.
That
Sorry
seems like
about
the one that meant
Yeah, I
that's
mean-
fine.
Transmitter to get top 3, so whatever.
Don't worry. I enjoyed that talk though. Like I didn't expect it.
I can't
Actually,
believe that Alex
play that
told
game now.
everyone at Giant Bomb that game was bad. And then they just took his word for it and nobody else on the staff even fucking played it. They had it in their fucking best disappointing category with no one
Above.
playing it except for one person.
Yeah, above.
That's
like,
how it is usually, isn't it?
It's fucking stupid. Anyway, sorry. It's about our list.
It's about our stupid list.
Alright,
Speaking
most
of-
likely to be a virus.
Deltarune
So
and
Deltarune, its terms of service agreement is just you will accept whatever happens from now on.
that.
You know, I'm gonna go ahead and say that probably beats Fallout.
Yeah,
No,
Does it,
Fallout
though?
leaking shit too is not
Okay,
great.
Fallout did actually leak personal information. Deltarune just says you have to be okay if they
you-
do.
Also, some virus scanners call Deltarune a virus.
hey, you know,
Okay, you know what? That seems.
Well,
boom.
alright.
All right.
We're just gonna
I'm
cut
out.
that part out though.
Alright.
All right, moving on. The
As
best.
far as I know, Deltarune is not actually a virus, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it
having
could
played
be.
it,
It could be.
it could be.
Potential.
Of the games released this
uh,
year, it's the most likely
At least a rootkit.
to be
I
one.
was gonna say, TFP, did you hear our discussion about maybe having this in 2 parts?
No, I
I
did
believe
not.
you were having a break when we discussed
Yes, I was out using the bathroom and getting a drink. Why? What's
that.
up?
Yeah. So Rob was saying if this is going to go on for longer than about another hour, which from the looks of how much of the list we have left, it probably would. This seems like a situation where we might want to call it after a few more categories, or like say this page, and then come back and finish it up tomorrow or later. I'm not sure.
Okay,
What do you
Yeah,
think,
that would
Rob?
also help me save my voice because I am still a bit sick.
that would
Yeah.
work. Works
Rob,
for me.
what's your time frame on the finishing?
Oh, I was just saying, like, yeah, roughly an hour or so. I don't
Well,
know.
yeah, but
I
I
mean,
mean,
we-
like, when we come back, I mean.
Oh, when we come back. Oh, pretty much any time tomorrow, like around the same time.
I'm good for tomorrow as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
I can
that's-
see that.
that seems
Tomorrow
good.
Noon, high
Sir?
noon.
I'm good tomorrow. Absolutely.
All right.
All right,
So yeah,
so join
I'd
us.
say probably
Join us
into
next
this
time.
page.
Well, I'd say we could probably just call it here because I think
Oh,
that's probably good because that's about. We did 2 pages and there are 2 pages left.
yeah, but one of those pages is Game of the Year, which is going to take longer than all the other categories.
Ah, fine. Okay, we can do.
Well, I mean, if you want to end it now.
I feel like maybe get through best narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's all. That is going to be a
'Cause
long
I'm gonna be-
category.
I'm not gonna have a say in this.
Yeah.
All right, I can see
All right.
that. Get through best narrative, and then we'll come back with what the hell are you thinking.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good
That's-
start.
Starting place.
Yeah.
To talk about
Um,
the Soja Boy.
Oh
For- For the record, just
Break that
preemptively,
Soja Boy.
if you cut the missing, I cut you.
Yeah, I'm repping for the missing too.
I wish I played that
As
game.
as far as things we can probably cut, I think the easy quick cut is Celeste. If anyone has any objections to that, did anyone
definitely
besides
end up
me
playing
play
Celeste.
Celeste?
I did not play
I did
Celeste.
not.
There's a
So-
really good moment that really accurately describes what panic attacks feel like in that game, but other than that, it's pretty straightforward.
I'm not sure if it's going to hang, but I put Donut County on this list. I think just because it's
I did not know that had a narrative, actually.
It's funny, well written, concise, and it's kind of got some themes about gentrification going on as well.
I think it can hang at least for the moment, because I'm gonna be super honest. I have not finished 428. Where that game got to is bananas, though.
Which one? 428 should be scannable?
Yes, that's the weird FMV like visual novel.
With the gimmick of you're controlling just a shit ton of characters.
Yeah,
at once.
you're controlling like 5 people at once. You're controlling a police detective, a street punk, a
Woman in some
virologist,
kind of horrifying cat costume.
a woman in a horrifying cat costume, and a reporter. And they are it's the 24 of video games because it all takes place over the same day. There is a kidnapping that has gone horribly wrong. There is people trying to take over a newspaper. There's an ongoing thing about like bioviruses, like bioterrorism is happening. Some lady with a knife showed up. Like that game is bananas.
It goes
Every screenshot I see of that game is incredible.
Yes.
There's a running thing of just referencing Twin Peaks.
Yes, also that, which seems really weird. There's a character literally named Leland Palmer. At one point, the street punk hides out in a bar called the Log Lady. The villain hideout is a bar called the Black Lodge. Like, fucking... That game is more Twin Peaks than fucking Deadly Premonition, and I don't know how that works.
They probably have never seen it.
They've probably never seen it.
Probably never.
It's a huge coincidence.
Apparently, also, this guy, like, I'm not an anime person, as has been well documented about my lack of anime personness.
Yes.
But apparently, there's an anime called Kanan, it's like Canaan.
Yeah,
That is apparently related to this game.
that's really weird.
Because the girl with the knife is Kanan.
Oh, it's like a weird tie-in with the actual anime?
Well,
I didn't
no,
know that.
it like Kanan was a follow-up. Like this,
Oh.
like it takes place after this game. Apparently,
What?
Oh, I watched that anime. I didn't know that.
yeah,
Well, now I have to play it.
yeah. I sold a copy of 428.
Nice.
All you have to do was tie it into anime.
Yeah.
And you also sold a copy of. What's
Yeah,
that?
I just
A
went
Way
to-
Out.
I just went to the Wikipedia
A
page
Way
and it
Out.
says a sequel to 428 Shibuya Scramble.
Yeah,
Huh. Okay.
but I don't. I'm sure I would probably be more passionate about it if I had finished it in time. But as it stands, my passion is going to The Missing. And in
I
like,
agree.
did you finish The Missing, Surf? Or are you still okay?
No, I finished it.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad I'm not the only one who finished The Missing.
Made me
Well,
cry.
I have seen the ending of that game, so I know what the deal is, but I would agree that it probably needs to be on this list, because it seems awesome.
It's really good.
Yeah, I would fight here for A Way Out and Unavowed in this case, and I'll start... Well, I mean, we've talked about A Way Out.
Yeah.
It is a 6-hour build-up to a fighting game that does a really good job of making you actually care about the characters along the way. Like, not just through the family stuff, but, like, I think it's a neat trick they do with having all the, like, competitive stuff as you go through, where it's like the characters are playing games, but you are competing against your co-op partner. So it's like... There's a weird sense of camaraderie you get with your character because you are winning and losing with your character in these games. And it kind of gets you to feel more in their corner for when the final turn happens. I think it's just built really well to really make sure that final twist and the finale hits home. Of like I have never seen anyone get to that finale who is not 100% behind the character they are playing as. Like everyone
What?
is convinced their character is the one that's in the right.
Yeah.
And I think that they do a really good job of building it in such a way that that almost always happens.
Like I've
to people
never
playing that game.
like of the playthroughs of that I have seen, no one's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna take the fall because you're clearly the one who needs to live." Like everyone's like, "No,
Yeah,
fuck you."
everyone is 100% in on you gotta go. And I really appreciate that. It's really well made in that regard, really well built up. Unavowed, which I think Rob would want to.
I will say
because
that
he's-
just kind
I
of
think
in the
he's
interim, I think, like even Grav's brief description of Donut County, as much as I love Yakuza, I think at the very least it's the weakest of these 5.
Yeah, I could see that.
So I'm just gonna before you get into that. Just
All right. Well, I don't know if Rob is still alive. He seems like he's dead, so
Oh,
I can't tell
he's
him to go
typing.
away. Because...
he
Okay.
is.
Okay, are you not listening? So, because I'm probably about to talk about Unavowed. Maybe he took the break early and just forgot to tell us. That would make some amount of sense.
I don't know.
I don't know, but I kind of don't want to just talk about it in case he comes back right in the middle of it. Shit. Well, in the interest of time, I guess I'll just start talking about
Yeah,
it.
go
and
ahead.
It does not come back at the wrong time. Okay, so Unavowed is like rad urban fantasy detective story where you pick your you at the start of the game you are getting an exorcism performed on you. That is how the game opens. You are being held like prisoner by a woman while a dude is throwing lightning into your chest. So you are being blasted with lightning. This exorcism is being performed. They're getting a demon out of you. And as this is happening, you like pick a name for your character and you pick your backstory. And you have a choice of actor, or you pick a gender, you pick a name, you pick your backstory. You have actor, bartender, or cop. I went with cop, and I think cop is honestly the best way to go. And it's because it kind of ties in with the characters you meet over the game. Like, everyone's got some connection to the other characters, but I think cop is the most direct, because one of the teammates you get later in the game is actually your partner from the prologue. The prologue, in any case, because I played through all three, is basically just summing up what your life was like 1 year ago when you were possessed by this demon. And for the cop, at least, it was a case of, oh, we're going to investigate this like kind of routine bust at a nightclub where these kids pulled knives, and this cop stopped them.
It's like a Bruce Lee
And
movie.
It was like a Bruce Lee movie. Long story short, it turns out this cop is into some hardcore demonic bullshit and has a book that lets him just rewrite people's memories, which he does to your partner and attempts to do to you before you pull your gun on him and basically get him to throw the book down. And you, being a cop, are like, alright, dangerous weapon, get it away from bad guy. Pick up the book, immediately possessed by a demonic entity from the book, and then just gun down all the witnesses in the room, the cop, and your partner, and just fucking leave the scene with this trail of dead bodies in your wake. Cut back to the present where these people successfully exorcise the demon, and you are on top of a hotel full of dead bodies because you have just been tearing the shit out of New York for the last year with this demon inside you. You have left a trail of chaos and destruction across the city over the course of the last year, and they basically say, like, yeah, your life is over, you're joining our team of people who are responsible for keeping New York safe from supernatural threats. So, yeah, you join the team, they put a magical thing on you to keep anybody from recognizing you, so because, you know, you're hell of wanted. And the whole game goes through this thing of, like, tracking down the demon that was possessing you, because it escaped the exorcism. They got out of your body, but it still got away. Like, you're tracking this thing down, trying to find out what it was up to, what it did all across the city, like, what its plans were. It's a really awesome, just, like, series of adventures through different areas of New York and meeting all this weird fucking cast. Like, you go deal with this fucking whole family of, like, angry ghosts in this house, and the whole time you're being taunted by, like, a child ghost who's just writing shit on the mirrors and making fun of you because you can't throw a brick very well. It's a whole fucking absurd, like, just... It's a really cool adventure across New York, solving all these different supernatural problems and finding out how they tie in to your character. And eventually, at, like, the 80% mark of the game, it's, like, routine, you finish one of the last missions, and your character, the next, like, morning, when you do your routine of wake up in your room at the base, starts moving out of your control, and then is voice acted, and then has a, like, character portrait, because your body has been taken back over, and you have dialogue options, but they don't work. It's just you trying to talk while this thing, and it goes through the whole deal you would normally do in that game of go downstairs, find your team, like Mass Effect style, talk to the team, find out what they thought about the last mission, get more backstory, but you aren't making the choices and you aren't seeing the conversations. It's your character now acting of their own accord. Or rather, whatever was controlling you in the year prior to the game back in your body. And it leads to this whole scenario where you have to find a way to signal your team that something is wrong. And once that happens, like, it leads to another exorcism with the twist of you, the same thing happens, like the lightning and all that. You get to relive the prologue of the game, but this time you are seeing it from a different perspective, and you find out essentially that the main character that you made, whose name you picked, whose gender you picked, whose backstory you picked, is basically fucking Adachi from Persona and is a goddamn sociopath. They got that fucking magic book in the prologue, and then immediately killed everyone of their own accord, summoned a demon to basically use as a servant, which turns out to be who you've been playing as the whole time. You've basically been an unwilling passenger in that main character's body through the whole year that they were raising hell across New York, essentially just because they found out that magic exists and now want to have fun with it. Like, and over the course of that, basically fucked with your head in a way that made you think you were human, because you have a conscience and they don't. So they're like, alright, if you're just gonna sit there in my head whining about all the murder, just fucking rewrite your memory however you need to live with the situation. And for your character that was making themselves remember everything, like them being the actual person and being possessed. Because that was a story that made sense that they could live with. And this is a case of, like, this whole game has just been a ridiculous misunderstanding where you are a demon that was stuck in a human body and thought they were human, and this, all of the chaos throughout the city was caused by this human who is just a complete fucking asshole. And it leads to this giant showdown once, because you get your body back, they escape a second time, and it leads to this giant showdown with you and your team of dudes going through this fucking pocket dimension they made. And it's like, everyone you've met over the course of the game, all of the antagonists that you have dealt with in one way or the other, whether you spared them or not, like, everyone comes into play in the finale to get you through this series of obstacles. It's like this giant gauntlet of challenges. Instead of being restricted by the size of your team, you get to bring everyone with you, so it's just like this whole fucking crew. It's a really awesome finale leading up to the ending where you're essentially dealing with this person who has fucked everything up for everybody essentially out of sheer boredom. And it's actually, the character is slightly more than that. It's not just boredom. They have a really good line about, because they are essentially a sociopath, they've been pretending to be everyone's friend this whole time. Pretending to be a normal person to get through their life and their job and everything else. It's like, yeah, they found out that they can essentially make their own reality using all this magic shit they found. It's like they want to make a world where they don't have to keep up the act. Where they can be whoever the hell they want to be and don't have situations with like, hey, the cops are trying to stop me because I'm a fucking sociopath. It's as sympathetic a motive as you can get from someone with zero guilt or empathy, in that they want a world where they don't have to pretend to have empathy or guilt. It's a really cool twist on the villain motivation thing. And it's just there's multiple ways you can end it. Like, you can actually willingly team up with them to give the building your own world a shot, which is fucked, but you can do it if you want. It's like, it's a really cool thing, and one other thing that's interesting, and I think it's probably one of the things that sells the twist, is after it happens, after you find out that you're not that person, you haven't been since the start of the game, like, they make you pick a new name for your character. Because, like, the character you made, that person with that name, is not you. They are the villain. You are actively opposing them now, so you have to pick a new name for your character. And I think that's just a really cool way to kind of, to sell better the idea that you are now opposed to your original character. Like, the person you thought you were is actually the villain. You are someone else. So pick a new name and go fight your person.
Go fight your shadow?
Kinda.
Except it's actually you and you're the shadow.
Yeah, it's like, it's almost more like you're the shadow fighting the original person. It's a really cool twist on that. I don't know. I really like it, but I could see it, other stuff winning this. Because it's a really cool occult story, and I really like some of the stuff it has to say throughout. But the missing is a more personal thing. And I would rather stick with A Way Out, just in terms of, because I really like the way that game builds its narrative up. Like, I could see it going off this list to make the top 3, Donut County, A Way Out, The Missing, in whatever order people are okay
It sounds
with.
like it beats Donut County to me. I don't know.
Like, I don't know. I really like it, but it is my jam because it is urban fantasy, and that is my thing. Like, I don't know how well it resonates with other people, and like I said, I went specifically with a backstory that made it work. Because, like, there's a really good moment after the twist where you find out you're not who you thought you were, where your partner, who you shot in the prologue and who lived through that shooting, which is why she joins the team later, is like at your bedside, like, yeah, we had to check and make sure you weren't about to fucking get possessed again overnight like last time, and is asking about this photo on the wall after you guys like both made detective, and it's like you two posing on this car. It's the picture that's been up there the whole game, and it's like, yeah, so her actual partner was a sociopath, was pretending to like her the whole time, actually hated her guts, and she's asking you like, so what do you think? Like, what, like, are you like them at all? Like, how do you remember this when you look at this picture? And there's just like a bunch of options that are like, oh, like, I don't know what they're thinking because I'm not them kind of thing. But the one I went with, and I thought it was like the best option for the case, was something like I can't speak for them, but when I look at the picture, I remember being happy. And it's a really cool moment of just that person being like, okay, well, I'm glad that in some form or another, the person I thought of as my partner does exist, just not quite the way I thought. Like and I don't think it connects as well with some of the other like origins you can go with, and I think the voice actor for the female main character is much better than the male voice actor. So it's like if I had gone a different way with that origin, that probably the twist and everything wouldn't have hit as hard. It wouldn't have been as good. But the way I played it and the way it worked out for me, I really fucking love the way that game's story plays out. So I don't know.
I kind of want to check it out now.
Yeah,
I think it's really
I think that's fair. I think our final three are probably A Way Out, The Missing, and Unavowed. If that's okay with Grav.
Sure. Yeah, it's totally
I'm
fine.
okay with that.
The missing ones.
I kind of agree with Serve here.
All right, but for Grav, have you played The Missing at all?
Do you,
know anything
want to
about
know about the story of The Missing?
It's the weird, like, I know what the gameplay's like, but I
Yeah.
know nothing about the narrative.
So, The Missing is you're JJ Macfield. You are
Great last night.
yes, you're like an industrial design student, and you're hanging out on this island with your lady friend Emily. And then Emily wanders off, and you're like, "Where'd she go? No!" And then you go, and you at some point you get like knocked over by a tree and crushed to death, and then this moose in a lab coat walks up and starts talking about cardiac arrest.
Wee-oo.
It's like a whole thing of like weird siren noises.
Yeah,
It does a lot of the Twin Peaks.
Like,
talking
yeah.
backwards.
Very
Well,
Twin Peaks.
it does the Twin Peaks. We're gonna say something forwards, play it backwards. You're gonna mimic the backwards, and then we're gonna play that backwards so it sounds forward but messed up. And you're being chased by this crazy like hair monster with scissors that is walking on its hands and legs.
And it spawns hands.
Yes, and it spawns hands throughout the thing. And
You mutilate yourself.
yes, and like the whole puzzle solving thing is JJ can't die. JJ can't really, so
She dies if her head gets...
you die if your head gets stolen or eaten or spiked.
Oh, so it's
or
like Never
crushed.
Dead.
It's like Never
Yes,
Dead,
I'm
but
back.
good.
I want to point out the TFP just said the words, it's like Never Dead, but good. You came
I
in at
heard
the right
that.
time. You came in at the right time.
Damn. Are you going on with the missing?
Yes.
Okay.
Would you also like to bow out for the missing?
God damn it. I'll probably forget about it anyway. But
kind of hard.
It's kind of hard to like. There's a
It's kind of like a
big
central thing of the game.
yeah.
all right, fuck, fine.
All right.
All right.
That's how it goes.
That's how.
Yeah,
That's how.
best
it be.
narrative category.
Hard to win.
Luckily, there aren't too many categories tomorrow that are going to require this kind of dancing.
Yeah. But.
All right.
Wow. Okay. So. Basically, like you're chasing around. If you get enough collectibles, you'll get like text messages from assorted other characters. Yes, the collectibles are all donuts. They're sleepy donuts.
And the text messages are like filling in backstory stuff,
Yes,
right?
like
Yeah.
you with your professor, with like a friend who's got a crush on JJ and wants to like works at a very bad pizza restaurant, and there's like a punk rocker lady, and the weird YouTube kid who's apparently very rich.
The obnoxious one that I didn't like.
Yes, him. But like at
Okay.
certain points in the story, like JJ at the beginning of the game is holding like this stuffed animal, like this weird moose thing.
FK.
Yeah, it's FK. It's forced casing because it's a sweary game, and he's got to show up somewhere. And then at certain points, like you'll get text from your mom and from Emily, and it's talking about like I'm trying to think of where to end that sentence with of like all the story stuff is like FK is very well meaning but kind of insensitive.
He doesn't.
He
like,
doesn't
know
understand
how to-
people.
Yeah.
Like, JJ, you sad? Yes. Be happy. That's not how this works. And then just a bunch of sad faces is what he sends back. And your mom is like a little overbearing, and Emily's very nice.
little?
Well, we'll get there. But
The mom puts a lot of pressure on
yes,
JJ.
to be quote unquote normal, and then she's talking about like, oh, I found some clothes that are not befitting of a nice young lady in your room.
Oh, they're Emily's.
And yeah, it's like, oh no, those are Emily's clothes. It's fine. And I showed them to Emily's mother, and she had never seen them in her life. Yeah, and then so the ending starts to happen, and I'm skipping a lot here, but you meet up with Emily.
There's not a lot of.
Yeah, there's not.
plot.
Yeah.
A lot of the story is told through text messages.
And because like a lot of the in between stuff is just puzzles.
Yeah.
Um,
But
um,
they do like a whole plot dump on you basically towards the end.
Yeah, where you find Emily. Emily has hung herself. JJ does not take this very well, and so also hangs herself. And
Emily
then
prepared a convenient news for her.
yes, and then 100 years pass.
Yeah. Just
and
casually.
Just casually. And then you find Emily again, or like there's another person who looks like Emily, and then JJ turns into the big crazy hair monster, and you have a reverse boss fight where you're trying to beat Emily, who's got a shotgun for some reason.
Can you die in that section?
I don't think so.
I know that more that you get shot, the slower you go.
Yeah,
It was kind of that part was not super great.
it's not clear.
Yeah.
Let's say. But then you get this like text dump from. I think the implication is it's JJ texting you because I don't think there's any. I don't think FK. Or is it to FK? I don't remember.
No, it's FK.
Okay, but she's talking about like, hey, you know what it's like when your arm gets ripped off? It fucking sucks, is what it is.
Yeah. FK was like, "Hey, buddy, how you doing? You're alright." And then she's like, "No, what the fuck do you think? Like, life fucking sucks, dude." I'm paraphrasing, of course.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, having to mutilate yourself to solve all these adventure game puzzles kind of sucks.
Pretty much.
Like it goes into some real gruesome detail about like it's like getting hit by a truck, and you
And then
can't.
you-
And then you smile because you don't really have any more tears for the pain. And it's just
you
like,
feel
well,
and you feel the skin start to rip and the muscles start to tear, all that good stuff.
yeah. But and basically through that there are these weird like little after images that are starting to happen because
You're at the school.
yeah, because you're at the school, and it turns out J.J. Macfield attempted suicide in the school by slashing his wrists open.
Wow. Way to give it away unintentional.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, this is the best narrative category. We're going to talk about it. And yeah, JJ is transgender, is the big reveal at the end. But not like...
Not post.
No, yeah.
Yeah, it's like pre the whole surgery transition, all that.
JJ identifies.
Yes.
Yeah. And this got outed.
Yes. And this
Which
got
is what
outed
led to the attempted suicide.
Yes.
Yeah, you see, you'll see like silhouettes, and they'll have like, Miles and JJ's, of course, looking down because everybody pretty much knows her secret. And it was rough. That was a very rough section.
Yes, that game gets really raw in really really deep ways towards the end, to the point of like, this isn't the ending, right? And I was saying that for like an hour of like, this is not going well. And like, it ends on a hopeful note, I would say. Because like JJ and Emily actually go to the
I did wonder if like, because I did wonder if there were supposed to be story beats throughout the whole thing, because I thought that she was just a lesbian, and that's why.
I think that's how they get you.
Yeah,
They intend it to be interpreted that way before they.
Yeah, yeah, and like the one part that I thought was kind of weird was like, oh, you have like these clothes, you know, why are you wearing these? Like, I'm like, well, why would that necessarily weird? Like maybe she's, but I guess that was like the first.
That's
red herring the right word? I don't know.
Well, first clue.
The first clue that.
Whatever the opposite of a red herring is.
Yeah, and just like the way the mom
starts
talks, I think
talking.
It's supposed to include like, oh, you're, you know, we want people to be normal, and you know,
yeah. Like, the mom was trying to push them into a certain lifestyle.
Yeah, well, the thing that kind of got me was that she's like, oh, like you're the heir to the Macfield family. I think that was supposed to be like the clue that JJ is supposed to be transgender, because generally the heir
would be a male.
Would be a male figure.
Mm-hmm.
I am not a transgender.
I don't think any of us are, but
yeah, I don't necessarily. So I can't really speak to their trials or tribulation, or if this game is even accurate in how it is. I've read a lot of articles where a lot of people say like, it kind of misses the mark here and there, but it was well intentioned, that, you know, they got most of it right. I mostly just love it because it's just a strong narrative story.
Yeah,
it didn't feel overhanded, or like it was trying
heavy-handed, like it was just trying to force this issue. Or
or anything like that. It was first a well-told story with good characters. The voice acting isn't the great, but I kind of like the weird voice acting, because it made it feel a bit more natural.
It's like Silent Hill 2. It's like Silent Hill 2 voice acting, where like it's not professional, but it sounds realistic.
It sounds natural.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can identify with the story from that aspect, but but a lot of like the bullying aspect and feeling like an outsider, I kind of identify with that. So I'm sure that people who are transgendered or do similar things will probably get maybe even more than I did out of it, but I just loved it more from it's a well-told story. It has a good it ends on a hopeful message, because I thought it was just like, oh, she's fucking dead, like.
Yeah, like I'm gonna be honest, I thought the game was over at the suicide scene, and I was like, what?
What? And then it goes like 100 years later.
Yeah, and it's like, what is happening?
Yeah, so I just kind of like wanted to bring that up.
Yeah.
None of us are transgendered. We don't, but you know, we are certainly an open group, despite some of the shitty things I said in the past jokes. But it's a fantastic.
We try to
highly recommend.
We try to be good people. Sometimes we, you know.
Our
sometimes we fall short.
Gets away from us, but the missing, you know,
our humor, your humor.
I will say I really like the way that the missing kind of like the whole game is essentially the dream of this person who has tried to commit suicide over this thing, like kind of coming to terms with what they've done, whether they want to live or not.
Yeah, very Jacob's Ladder.
Yeah, and I like the idea that like this mechanic of hurting yourself to get through all this stuff, tying directly into the whole thing of like this whole thing is because they attempted suicide. And just them talking about how it's like, no, this sucks. Like, all the stuff they're having to do themselves to hurt themselves to get through this stuff sucks, and they don't want to do it, leading back into just the whole theme of they have attempted suicide.
Yeah.
That's a...
It's almost like a repudiation of what they did to get there.
as a person that has dealt with depression and suicide, life kind of feels like that way. It's kind of forcing your way through all these, where you're forcing your way through it, and it hurts a lot. And I don't know if I've ever heard it or felt so shitty that it felt like my arm was being ripped apart, or that I had to cut my head off to go down a bowling alley or anything like that. But yeah, I think that's kind of the thing where the quest to get better is long and painful, and I think that's a lot of the idea behind the whole mutilation and stuff.
On that happy note.
But it does have a bit of humor to it. It's not all just super down at the deer guy's fun. I like him.
I actually really like the detail of the weird, like, moose doctor. And at the end, when he's actually wakes up back in the real world, it is like paramedics and a stuffed moose head off to the side.
Yeah.
And you kind of get the idea that all of these elements were dragged into the dream as he was fading off.
Like,
and that's
it's like
why,
the usual
like, a lot of the
suspects.
weird shit. Yeah, like why the weird shit ended up the way it was. It's not just, oh, weird moose doctor because Sweary's weird. I mean, it is that, but also
Yeah.
there's a reason in universe.
Even if that was like the one part I felt was kind of like a bit contrived. Like, why would he have that there?
Eh,
You wouldn't have a
moose-
stuffed. If I had a stuffed moose head,
You would put it in your classroom.
They're at like a gym, like it's the mascot.
it's like kind of a storage area. It's like an abandoned classroom almost. Like they just have a bunch of shit piled out.
It was a classroom. It was like one of those big classrooms they have in colleges.
Yeah, but they just had like a bunch of shit piled up in there, so I assumed it was literally just like storage temporarily or something, or like they were renovating or something.
Either way.
Yeah. I don't know. I do like the story it tells. It's coming at it from a personal side of things, and I actually really like the reveal that it is just kind of all in that person's head. I like those kinds of. I like that kind of narrative.
Internal
of-
journeys.
Yes.
And it has a good message, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
The little
It is not sugarcoating the kind of shit that people have to go through when they are not, normal, so to speak.
perceived as normal.
Yeah,
Perceived
like
as being
whatever.
abnormal.
they're not.
What is typically considered normal. They're not typical, I guess would be a better way to put it.
Yeah.
I mean, as the little opening blurb in the when
No
you start
one
the
is
game,
wrong
no
for
one-
being who they are, or
Yeah.
whatever the actual quote is.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Anyway,
But yeah, I think it's a pretty good story.
Yeah.
does anyone object to me making this the winner?
That was gonna be my winner personally. So
And I think Grab is dead over the course of this, so.
Yeah.
I've just
Yeah.
been saving my voice.
Okay.
he was hiding away in case we said anything super.
He's recorded all of that for evidence later.
I mean, I've recorded all of this. It's on YouTube.
That's true.
Oh no!
So,
Alright.
that's going to do it for day one.
I guess unless you have
Ah.
anything to say, Grav.
No, I think I didn't play any of those games, so you guys definitely covered it.
Alright.
All right. Join us tomorrow
Where we
for.
invalidate more of Grav's opinions.
Yeah.
Yay! More knife fights.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
Oh, it's gonna be fun. It actually is Sunday, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Sunday.
My schedule's so thrown off by all these fucking holidays. Ugh.
Anyway,
Alright.
later.
See you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
9/11.